Help! It's gone! I've been robbed! Everything is gone! Help! We gotta catch the thief!
What is it, Granny? What's missing?
I knowed I should have kept it under lock and key. Letting it lay out there in the open like that was too much temptation.
Well, what's missing, Granny?
They didn't even touch the silver. Headed right for the valuables. Over 50 bars of my homemade life soap.
Granny, good as it is, I don't know nobody who'd risk jail to steal your soap.
Just name any movie star. Why, they'd do worse than that. To get my skincare beauty secret?
My soap?
Of course. Ellie, tell your pa why my skin looks the way it does today.
Suppose it's because you've been out in the sun and the wind too long.
Who asked you?
You did, Granny.
Ellie, you seen any strangers prowling around Granny's life soap?
Or movie stars?
No, but Jethro toted it all out of there. Maybe he's seen somebody.
What?
Jethro took it?
Yes, sir. He says for his nude business, there ain't no soap can touch it.
All right, Bessie, we's all set for my grand opening. You ready to take off with my advertising campaign? What do you mean, no? All you gotta do is float up a couple 1,000 feet and toss out these handbills.
Jethro!
How do you, Jet? I was gonna wait till I had my first customer before I called you, but what do you think of my new car wash?
Well, sometimes you act like you got grits for brain. You know how many of these places there already is in Beverly Hills?
Not like mine. This is the only one in the whole world that'll wash your car in just 5 seconds.
It is.
Yeah, that's because I'm the only fella that's smart enough to think of dunking them.
Dunking them?
Yeah. It gets the car spanking clean, top and bottom. It's my own invention. You see, I just put the car in them chains over yonder and hoist it up with them ropes. It's hooked up to this block and tackle at either end. Then I just haul the car out over the water and slacken off and drop it in. Then I just slush it around a little bit and lift it out over to this side and let it drip dry. How about that? And what's more, for 10 cents extra, I clean the whole inside of the car, too. I just leave the windows open. What's the matter? I forget something?
For one thing, the shingle you're going to need for your pants when Granny finds out what happened to her soap.
Oh, wait, that's the secret to this whole operation. You see, even in cold water, Granny's lye soap cuts grease just like that.
Boy.
Of course, it is kind of tough on car paint, too, but I don't care much about repeat business.
You got 24 hours to drain this pond, pull down them ropes, and get this place back to normal.
Oh, come on, Uncle Jet. I'm going to clean up. I'm going to set this world on fire.
You're going to clean up, all right. Everything. Or you're going to end up with a seat of your britches on fire.
Well, if it ain't the king of the car washing.
Oh, yeah? If I'd have got my handbills out when I wanted to, I'd have been turning the customers away now. It's all that dad blame Bess's fault.
What do you mean it's Bess's fault?
That monkey ain't nothing but a big, hairy chicken.
All right, kid. Where's that soap filter, Jethro?
Now, calm down, Granny. I've already got to the bottom of the trouble.
That's what I want to do. Where is he?
I'll help you make some more soap, but you won't need them hickory hide heaters.
It's the young'uns that need 'em, and the woodshed. Then we'd see how much mischief they could get into.
Now, Granny. I think it's more like they got too much time on their hands. I might go down and see can Mr. Drysdale find something for him.
You're wasting your wind. The couple of times you did put 'em to work, they were back home the same day.
I know.
I figure betwixt Ellie's secretarying and Jethro's ciphering, they made the other workers look sluggish.
Good morning, Miss Hathaway. You remember my nephew and namesake, little Milburn Drysdale?
How do you do, Miss Hathaway?
Hello, Milby.
His parents asked me to keep an eye on him for a few hours while they're gone.
Where have they gone?
Europe.
Oh, Chief.
Oh, I'm just taking care of him for the day. Tomorrow he starts boarding school. Milby, why don't you get in my office and play? I'll be right in.
Yes, sir, Uncle Milburn.
Oh, he's a fine youngster. A credit to the Drysdale family.
Chief, how did you get stuck with keeping that miserly little monster again?
Just a minute, Miss Hathaway. Last year when you took care of Milby, he was just going through a transition phase.
I know, like the wolf man.
Come on now, he's a fine lad.
He is a grasping, avaricious, crafty, conniving little money grubber.
Yes, everyone says he reminds them of me as a boy.
At the age of 6, when other little kiddies were playing hide and seek, Milby had started his first business.
So every kid has a lemonade stand?
Milburn opened a pawn shop. He needs other interests. He needs to go places and do things with someone he looks up to. So someone big and tall and strong.
I agree. You can have him all day.
Never again.
But I can't get away. You've got to take care of him.
Not even if you give me a whip and a chair.
Well,
Oh, hello, Uncle Milby. I hope you don't mind my borrowing this book from your desk.
oh, not at all, my boy. Ah, a sympathetic look at Ebenezer Scrooge. That's one of my favorites. Now, what would you like to do today?
Well, a real fun thing is making money. I've got my eye on some property in the valley.
I see. Well, how are you going to earn all that money?
I could start by betting you $5 that in 30 seconds your face will turn blue. Okay?
All right. I'll take that wager, but just to give you a lesson in gambling. Never bet except on a sure thing.
I don't. Remember, you taught me that last year.
Blue? Sure. Well, little Milby, you certainly got the best of me that time. What would you like to do now?
I'd like to collect my $5. And then I'd like to do what we did last year. You know, run barefoot around the vault.
I'd like that too, my boy, but I'm very busy today.
Mr. Clampett is here to see you.
Mr. Clampetts, a very important man. Please stop crying for Uncle Milburn. Mr. Clampetts, my favorite depositor. He's got $70 million.
Something wrong in here?
How do you do, Mr. Clampett? My name is Milburn Drysdale.
Now, Mr. Clampett, as I understand it, you're worried Jethro and Ellie may have too much time on their hands.
Yeah, well, you see, there just ain't enough work on the place. Even with all the chores Granny and me can think up, they still got a good hour a day with nothing to do.
Water, Mr. Clampett?
Oh, no thanks, son.
Coffee? Tea? Milk?
Thanks.
He's a fine boy. He has a great career ahead of him.
Yeah, he's already a pretty good waiter.
Pillow for your head?
Oh, no thanks.
That's fine, Milby. Now, why don't you sit on the sofa and read, huh?
Oh, it's all right. I have my bank book.
Well, now, getting back to the young'uns. Ellie is kind of a problem. You see, once you toss out secretary...
Yes, let's toss that out.
And when you come to Jethro, there's... say, you don't know anybody that needs a professional eater, do you?
No, but don't worry. I'll come up with something to suit his talents and education.
Good. Well, he said he'd take anything at all, as long as it's a executive job.
All right. Well, you'll have to give me a little time. We're pretty swamped here today. I'll even have to find somebody to take care of Milby for me.
Well, why couldn't he spend the day over at my place?
Please, Uncle Milburn. Please, if I can.
I think it'll be all right.
Yippee! Thank you, Uncle Milburn.
And you'll be giving Ellie a job at the same time. She'll be your babysitter. She's waiting outside. I'll go fetch her in.
Did you say a babysitter? For me?
Yeah. Here she is now.
But I'm 11 years old. Of course, I'm very insecure.
Ellie, you got a job. You're going to babysit little Milby there.
Howdy, Milby. You're the first human being I ever babysat for. I am? Yeah, but I ain't worried, because I'll just pretend you's an oversized monkey. Let's go, Milby.
Well, there you are, Milby. Make yourself to home.
Boy, would I love to go into the escrow in a place like this.
Sorry to disappoint you, Milby. It's got 32 rooms and 14 baths, but I don't think it's got escrow.
What's the matter, Jethro?
I'm mad. Before I even got it going, I had to shut down my 5-second car wash.
A 5-second car wash? Why, you could make a fortune.
Yeah, I know. Say, for a little kid, Milby, you're pretty smart.
Business is my middle name.
Hey, how much schooling you had?
I finished the 6th grade.
Yeah, I should have known. You can always pick out the fellers with the higher education.
Granny. I wonder where she is.
I don't know. You try the kitchen, I'll look upstairs.
Okay.
Ready?
All right, I'm coming. Where is the little tyke?
Hey, what you got there? What is all this?
Everything for the little young'un that Ellie Mae is babysitting with. I got blankets and bottles and diapers.
I reckon I didn't make myself too clear on the phone, and, you know, the baby we brung home is 11.
Well, 11-month-old baby will still need a lot of care. I can hardly wait to hold the infant in my arms again. Where is the little bundle?
Well, Milby is out with Jethro.
You left him out there with that big clock. Jethro, carry in little Milby and be very careful with him.
Hey, little Milby is a big boy.
Here he is.
Hi. He is big for 11 months, ain't he? Almost as big as Jethro was at that age. Wait a minute. You ain't no little baby.
That's what I've been trying to tell you, Granny. Milby's 11 years old.
How do you do, Granny? My name is Milburn Drysdale.
You're named after Mr. Drysdale?
Oh, not quite, Granny. Milby's middle name is Business.
Milby Business Drysdale. That's real high tone.
Come on out to the kitchen, have some milk and a piece of pie.
I wonder if I could have Jethro show me around the house first.
Well, all right. When you're through, come on out.
Hey, Milby, you mean you was turning down a piece of pie for a look around the house? I thought you was an educated man.
Look at this.
Well, what about it? Just an old vase.
It's a Ming vase.
Oh, it's for flowers.
Jethro, Ming is a famous Chinese dynasty.
Well, maybe so. They's out of business by now. Mr. Drysdale says that vase is a couple thousand years old.
I'll give you $1 for it.
$1 for a couple thousand-year-old vase? I can't slicker you like that.
Then sell it to me for 50 cents.
Well, okay, sucker. Don't say I didn't warn you.
What was you heating all this milk for?
Well, I was expecting little Milky to be a tiny infant. And Jethro used to drink that much for his evening bottle.
Yeah, but you got to remember, even as a baby, Jethro had a mighty unusual hunger.
Yeah, there ain't many 3-day-old babies that can tie into a side of bacon like he does.
Especially when it was still attached to the hog. Seems like ever since, his body and his appetite have been trying to see which could get the biggest.
Yeah, too bad his brains didn't enter the race.
I believe it's Gainsborough.
I don't know his name, but he sure dresses funny.
I'd like to buy it, too.
Gee, Milby, you already bought an awful lot of stuff.
I told you, I'll give you a check when we get everything totaled up.
Okay, but, gee, I can't help feeling I'm taking advantage of a little kid. I mean, you've given us $5 for this thing, and don't even give off decent lies.
I'm buying it for a friend. He likes old junk and doesn't care what he spends.
Okay, then watch out, because I'm really taking you to the cleaners.
Swell. I'll give you $5 for the Gainsborough.
10.
$7.50.
Sold. Hot dog, is my Uncle Jed gonna be proud of me.
Here, sign your receipt.
I can't wait to tell you.
Why don't you wait until you can show him the check?
Okay. When he sees what a business genius I am, he'll let me run a 5-second car wash for sure.
Yeah, I want to see that. Will you show me how it works?
Right away. I'll flag down the first car I see and be ready for you in 5 minutes.
I'll be in the mortgage department. There may be a foreclosure.
I hate to interrupt your fun, but don't you think you should pick up Milby at the Clampetts?
Why? He's probably having the time of his life.
I don't doubt it, being just one bootlick away from $70 million.
I'll pick him up this evening. Now lay off. He's just a normal, high-spirited youngster.
Is it normal to be kicked out of 3 military schools in 1 year?
It happens.
For usury?
I don't care what the law says. 80% interest on a loan is not unreasonable.
I give up. Apparently, Milby is more important to you than the Clampett account.
That's your truck down there?
Yeah. Them bubbles is on account of the engine still running.
What happened?
Hey, I couldn't get no cars to turn in the driveway, so I used the truck. Got it out yonder, and the ropes broke.
And this was your 5-second car wash?
Yeah. There is a few kinks in it yet. Oh, gone. The engine just died.
Gee, I was counting on you hauling away the things I bought with that truck.
Oh, I'll get it out. Well, I'm sure glad I drove such a hard bargain selling all that stuff to you. At least I'll be able to show my Uncle Jed I've done something right.
But remember, you won't show him until I'm gone. You have the check, right?
Hey, how does a little kid like you get all your money anyhow?
I use my head. For instance, this morning, I got $5 out of my Uncle Milburn. Nothing to it.
How'd you do that?
Cost you 50 cents to find out.
50 cents? For a way to get $5? It's a deal. Pigeon? I mean, partner. Hey, Uncle Jed, Granny, I just found out the best way to make $5 you ever heard of.
Well, what is it?
I'll show you. I'll bet you $5 that in 30 seconds, your face is going to turn blue.
Jethro, I ain't a gambling man.
Go on, Jed. It's a sure thing.
All right, I'll bet you.
Okay, here we go.
All over my kitchen. How dare you come in here and make a mess like this, you big funnel brain!
Hey, now, wait a minute, Granny. I didn't...
Hey, you big cabbage head!
Granny! Jethro, I told you to stay out of trouble while Milby was here. What have you been up to now?
Well, do you want to hear the good or the bad news first?
I got a feeling either way I'm going to need my switches.
Now, you come on right over here and sit down. Well, reckon we might as well get the bad news out of the way first.
Well, it ain't that awful. It's just that I dropped the truck in the cement pond.
Where's the switches?
Stay right there, Granny. I'll fetch him.
Hey, now, hold on. Wait till you hear the good news. Oh, you'll forget all about the bad.
All right, start them jaws a-hopping fast.
Yeah, well, you know how this house is full of bric-a-brac and junk and paintings and stuff? Most of it hundreds of years old and just cluttering up the place? Well, I unloaded almost a half a ton of it on that little Milby.
You what?
And he's not only taking it off our hands, he's paying almost $200 for it. How about that? Look at there. The good news just knocked her right over. Reckon I don't get no switching now, huh?
Not for the bad news, no, but you're going to get a first-class rump roasting for the good.
Hi, Uncle Milburn. Miss Hathaway. I'm glad you're here.
What's going on here? What is this?
I bought it for us. Every piece of fabulous antique. All I need is your check to pay for it. Partner?
What are you talking about?
You're gonna be proud of me. I conned it out of these hillbilly hicks for less than $200.
It's worth 1,000 times that.
I know. We'll sell it and make a fortune.
Yes. Yes, we'll get rich. Drysdale and Drysdale. Antiques. What? Oh, yes, of course. Get Mr. Clampett. Now, we'll see if you really bought this stuff.
I've got signed receipts from Simple Simon. You know Jethro?
Why, you little monster, you probably cost my biggest account.
Now, don't get excited, Uncle Milburn. How much do you want to forget the whole thing?
This is something you've been needing all your life, and you're not buying your way out of it.
It's gonna hurt you more than it does me.
Don't count on it.
He sure cleaned out the place, didn't he?
I'm just glad we arrived before Milby resold everything.
The little fellow wanted it that bad, he should have asked. We'd probably give him most of the stuff.
It's Jethro's fault taking advantage of a sweet little fellow like that.
By the way, where's Jethro?
He's out back trying to get the truck out of the cement pond.
What's going on? Just disciplining my nephew, Mr. Clampett. I'll be right back and make amends for all this. Get in, Miss Hathaway.
You must have spanked him good. We could hear him yelling clean inside.
That's not what he was yelling about. He's used to spankings. I got him where it really hurts.
What you mean?
I took his money belt.
Good morning, honey. Ain't it a beautiful day to be alive? Oh, I forgot. You ain't. You're a pretty thing. Brighten the corner where you are. Brighten the corner where you are. Someone far from harbor you may guide across the bar. Brighten the corner where you are. Oh, just what I need from a root cellar. This'll make a dandy shelf. The good Lord provides for the purest heart. Bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep. You will come rejoicing, bringing in the sheep.
Stop, thief!
Were you talking to me, Miss Drysdale?
You know very well I am. And I should have known that you were the thief who's been stealing my lumber.
Now, hold on. I found this board right there at the foot of the steps on my own property.
You're not only a thief, you're a liar.
Now, that ain't a nice thing to call your next-door neighbor, especially on such a pretty day.
It hasn't been a pretty day since you became my next-door neighbor. You peasant.
Hope you're writing all this down. Mr. Drysdale, you done reviled and persecuted me, but I forgive you 70 times 7. And though you covet what's rightfully mine, I give it to you with a glad heart. Because the kind deed turneth away wrath, and pride goeth before a fall. And her that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. For it is written, them that sows the wind will reap the whirlwind. But him that pours the milk of human kindness into the churn of life...
Oh, shut up and give me my lumber.
There it is, Pa.
Oh, so you've been cooking again, have you?
Yes, sir. Special just for you.
Well, would you look at that? Been a long time since I've seen one of these. Yes, sir, that's a dandy. What is it?
Well, it's a sponge cake. And there's a glass of milk to dunk it in.
Well, doggy, it's a sponge cake. Why, it's light as a feather. I bet you that rascal will really sop up the milk.
Well, it ought to. I put 4 sponges in it. Granny, what happened? Did you fall in the pond? I got knocked in the pond.
Ellie, go fetch your granny a blanket.
Fetch my shotgun.
What for?
For that big, fat, ornery daughter of Beelzebub next door.
Now, Granny, you promised me no more scrapping. You promised me to abide in peace with Sister Drysdale.
Please tell him what happened. Give him the sign.
Suppose you tell me.
Here you are, Granny. I said fetch my shotgun. We're feuding with the Drysdales right down to the last man. Go get Jethro.
I don't care if it was an accident. Now, you go over there and apologize to Granny.
Apologize? I should call the police and demand an arrest.
I'm not asking you to go to jail. Just apologize.
Her arrest. She stole my lumber. When are you going to stop siding with those hillbillies against me?
When you deposit $67 million in my bank.
That's only money. I'm your wife, your mate. For 27 years, I've shared your bed and board.
Please, not while I'm eating. Oh, now, Margaret. This whole thing is just a tempest in a teapot. Let Granny have the wood. What's a few lousy pieces of lumber?
They happen to be specially cut redwood planks to frame in my new dahlia beds. I'm determined to win first prize this year.
Okay. But promise, no more fighting with Granny.
All right, if she leaves me alone, I'll leave her alone.
Fair enough. Well, good luck with your dahlia, dear.
Oh, I'm not depending on luck. I've engaged an expert to help me.
Fine, I hope he's just great.
He should be. He charges $100 a day.
$100 a day?
Yeah, he's an expert.
Yeah, so is Jesse James.
Jethro, you seen your granny around?
No, sir, Uncle Jed. Hey, is there any more of that cake around?
Any more? Did you eat the one that was here?
Oh, yes, sir.
How was it?
Good, but springy. When I bit into it, it kind of fought back. Funny thing about that cake, it was light as a feather going down, but the more milk I drink, the heavier it sits. I think some of the threads from the flour sack got into it, too.
On your feet, men. We're marching into battle against the Drysdale.
Hot dog! Wait a minute, come here.
All right, come on. Stand back, Granny.
All right, there. But I ain't surrendering my sword. It was my grandpappy.
Okay.
Well, Pa ain't gonna feud to Drysdale?
No, Ellie, we ain't.
Oh, shucks, Uncle Jed. We was just going to capture him and fetch him back here.
Now, why would we want to do that?
Have you seen their new upstairs maid?
Now, listen, all of you. I know that Granny and Mrs. Drysdale has had a little run-in.
Running? Why, I was mean-mouthed, board-whomped, and pond-ducked. I called her sister. She called me thief and liar. I cast my bread upon the waters, and she throwed me in after it. Let's go feud.
Yeah!
Well, hold on.
Jed, we would have feuded for much less back in the hills.
We ain't back in the hills. You gotta remember that city folks like Mrs. Drysdale is much more loose with their talk.
And somebody ought to button her lip.
Granny, it just could be that she's powerful sorry for what she said.
Then why don't she come over and apologize?
How about letting her send her maid?
You wash out.
We all know what a prideful woman she is. So, Granny, why don't you meet her halfway?
No, I won't.
It'd put a star in your crown.
Nothing do.
Granny, I know how much you like hymn singing. Now, why don't you let a hymn of happiness drive the hate from your heart?
No.
I know a dandy, one of your favorites. I got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart, down in my heart. I got a joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart. Sing it, sister.
I got a joy, 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 joy down in my heart.
$10 a piece for dahlia bulbs?
Darling, these are new and original varieties. We're going to put a different variety in each bed.
At these prices, we should put them in my vault.
I'm to have the honor of naming them.
Oh, how exciting.
Isn't it? I've decided to name one for Daddy, one for Sonny, one for myself, and the fourth for the wonderful man that made all this possible.
Oh, really?
Yes, Mr. Ted.
Excuse me, Chief, you're wanted on the telephone.
Now, since I'm paying Mr. Wonderful $100 a day, suppose you get him busy.
We're ready for the groundbreaking ceremonies, Mr. Ted.
Groundbreaking. I'm the one he's breaking.
Mrs. Drysdale, I'm terribly sorry, but my shovel has disappeared.
Well, that's strange. It was right there beside those redwood planks. Wait a minute. I think I know where it might be.
Mr. Drysdale, I'm coming to meet you halfway. My heart is full of love and forgiveness. Ah, that Jethro. cutthroat. Always leaving tools strewn about. But I ain't gonna let it upset me. 'Cause I got joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart. Down in my heart. 'Cause I got...
Stop, thief!
Well, Sister Drysdale, come to apologize, are you? You sorry you called me a thief?
Yes, you're no thief. You're a kleptomaniac.
Well, that's better. Now, let's join our voices in a hymn of happiness. Oh, we got joy, joy,
Give me
joy.
that shovel.
Now, wait a minute. Is it yours?
No, but I want it. Give it to me.
Oh, please, sister. Don't lust after my shovel. Let a song drive the demon of greed from your heart. Oh, we got joy, joy.
Give me that.
Please, sister, it'll purify your soul. Oh, we got joy.
Granny's coming?
Did you meet Miss Drysdale?
Oh, yes, sir, down by the cement pond.
It was
and
a
Mrs.
song
Drysdale-
that done it. Let's sing her a welcome, youngsters.
Let's go.
She's got the joy, 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 joy down in her heart. Down in her heart. Down in her heart. She's got the joy, joy, joy.
I tell you, Milburn, that little woman is a kleptomaniac. This time she tried to steal Mr. Ted's shovel.
With what I'm paying him, he can afford a new one.
But all you ever think of is money. Can't you understand that compared to the social graces, money is nothing?
You could be committed for a statement like that. Hello? Oh, Mr. Clampetts. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, but I'm kind of worried about your wife.
Well, frankly, so am I. You did what? Threw Granny in a cement pond.
Yes, sir, and I'm afraid she's going to dry out real mean. She's about to swap her olive branch for a shotgun.
I'll see that Margaret apologizes.
I'll die first.
Granny might arrange that.
Of course, her gun's only loaded with rock salt and bacon rind, but that'll raise right smart of a well.
Well, I'll warn Margaret.
I'm not afraid of that little hillbilly hoodlum.
Mr. Drysdale, I think I hear Granny coming. I'll do what I can to head her off, but I'm afraid the fat's in the fire. Bye.
Well, Fats, you're in the fire.
Milburn, will you stop being insulting and face the facts? That woman is a common thief, a scavenger.
Mrs. Drysdale, I have apprehended the kleptomaniac. And he's Chimp.
Are you sure?
Caught her red-handed. She was going through the hedge with another redwood plank and this dahlia bed marker.
Good work, Margaret. You confused Granny with his monkey. Now, are you going to apologize?
Yes. I'm sorry, dear.
Funny. Now you get over there and tell Granny you're sorry.
I shall never humble myself before that vicious little harpy. Never.
I ought to put her across my knee and... What's this silly thing?
It's a marker for one of the 4 dahlia beds.
Daddy?
Yes, she's naming that particular variety after her father.
Oh, yes. Now, wait a minute. I've got an idea that just might appease Granny. She loves flowers. Margaret!
Out of my way. I'm going to salt her hide and nail it to the barn door.
Oh, Granny. Join me in a chorus, Love Lifted Me.
No more songs, no more hymns. I raised my voice and she lowered the boom. I walked beside the still waters and she thrown me in.
That poor city woman don't know nothing about feuding.
She's about to get some on-the-job training.
Leastways, it won't be no sneak attack. I warned him.
Digging in there, but Princess ain't gonna save you. I'm gonna count to 3 and then open fire. 1, 2, 3. That one's for the plank. This one here is for the shovel. Let go. Let go of my gun.
later, Granny. This time you come back dry.
Ellie, fetch my jug.
How'd you feud coming from Miss Drysdale?
Jed, she run in a hired killer on me.
Hired killer?
I tell you, Jed, he's a giant. A Goliath. He stands 9 or 10 foot tall and has the strength of 40 mules. He grabbed my shotgun, invented double.
You don't need no more of that.
I ain't touched a drop. Ellie, fetch Jethro and the rest of the guns. I need help.
Now, hold on. You told us to stay out of that. You said this was tricks you and Miss Drysdale.
That was before she run that Philistine in on me. I tell you, Jed, he's a Goliath.
I'll fetch my slingshot.
Even my shotgun didn't stop him. I tell you, Jed, he's so big that he can't walk through that door.
Well, then stay in the house. You got nothing to worry about.
How's the feud going, Granny?
Jethro, I need you. Fetch your gun and come with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Never mind the gun, boy.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Granny. I'd rather fight that upstairs maid hand-to-hand.
Fighting, you got some eating to do.
Well, hot dog. There's one thing I like better than fighting. It's eating.
You may have to do a little of both.
Huh? Well, where are we going?
This here is parlor eating, boy.
Don't leave me here to fight that giant alone.
It's all right, Granny. Here's my slingshot.
Ellie, I'm a scrapper, but I ain't no David. That goomer is a good 12 foot tall.
Show him to me.
Oh, no, Ellie. I wouldn't go near him alone without the whole clan around me. And Jeb Stewart cavalry.
Granny, you gonna spill, Diet?
Yeah, honey. You pour it for me. I don't want it to eat through the table. Thank you.
I don't blame you for trembling, Granny. Fellow 12 foot tall would scare anybody.
Well, maybe he ain't 12 foot. But he'll go 8 or better.
Well, I'm still big enough to scare you.
Or maybe 8 is stretching it a mite. But he's a good 6 feet and strong as an ox.
Well, Granny, where you going?
I'll learn that little runt to bend my guns.
Children, please. I can't name Daddy's Dahlia after Granny.
You can and you will. And the other 3 varieties will be named for the rest of the Clampetts.
No, no.
Yes, yes. Either that or Mr. Ted and his bulbs go back to the hothouse.
It will be a fine gesture, Mrs. Drysdale, one that will ensure peace in our time.
Oh, hired hand gonna scare me. Turn that side poke every way but loose. I'll hit him so hard it'll take him 3 days to walk back. He's digging graves. 4 of them.
How's it going, Mr. Ted?
Ah, Mrs. Drysdale, I'm all ready to put them in. Are those the markers?
Yes.
Ah, good. And what are the names?
Jed, Jethro, Ellie, and Granny.
Oh, yes, Granny. Is she the little old lady who shot at me?
Yes. We'll put her right here.
Would you like to help plant them?
May I?
Of course. But remember, they must be buried with the eyes up. Sure you want to do this, Mrs. Drysdale?
I'm afraid it's the only way to end the feud.
No, it ain't! Please, don't do it. Not to sweet little innocent Ellie Mae and Jethro. Nor Jed neither. He ain't to blame. He tried to talk me out of it, but I wouldn't listen to him. I'm to blame. Take me and spare the others. Throw the dirt on me. Ready to pay for my sins. One last request. plant me a mite deeper. I don't want the chickens scratching me up.
What's going on out here?
It's all right, Mr. Drysdale. I'm crossing over Jordan with a song on my lips. I got a joy, 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 down in my heart.
Get her out of there, yes.
I'm willing to go, Mr. Drysdale, if you just fill in them other graves.
Hey!
Those are flower beds.
Oh, Mrs. Drysdale and Mr. Ted are going to plant dahlias here.
You wouldn't josh a poor old corpse, would you?
Oh, Granny, don't be ridiculous.
Granny, you all right?
Hey, did you whip the Drysdale?
And big old go on. I done better than whoop 'em. I showed 'em the light. Put their feet on the paths of peace. They has done beat their swords into plowshares and plant flowers in my honor. Come in, you peace-loving dahlia diggers, and come in a singing.
Joy, 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 down in my heart, down in my heart. Joy, 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 down in my heart, down in my heart, you say.
Yoinks and tally-ho, my liege. Sir Jethro D. Bodine at thy service.
Got into you, boy, and what's that you got into?
These are the kind of royal raiments we's going to be wearing over at your castle.
What?
Hey, Mr. Drysdale called you? You done inherited the doggone castle over to England.
Go on.
Yeah, when they're great big rascals with them open the drawstring.
You grinning me?
No, sir. I was over at the bank when Mr. Drysdale got the word. So I went over to the studio and got us some Queen Elizabeth clothes.
Queen Elizabeth?
Oh, yes, sir. Well, she's the Queen of England. I looked her up in a book. And these are the kind of clothes you got to wear around her.
Everybody?
Wait, just us royal folks. This here was wore by Francis Drake.
Well, I hope it looked better on her.
Francis Drake was a man. A fighting man. A sailor.
Any sailor that run around like that better be a fighting man.
Dad, have you seen... Oh, excuse me, ma'am. I know that you... Jeff!
Sir Jethro. Head varlet to His Majesty, the Earl of Clampetts.
Jed, what is this?
You don't call him Jed. Why, he is royalty. And you're just a commoner, one of his oafs. You got to bow and scrape and grovel in front of him. And me too, because I'm his royal nephew.
Give me that piece of leather.
You don't hit the boy.
Hit me? Her? Well, I'd have a throat in a dungeon like that. Oafs don't run around hitting members of the royal family. No, sir, no. I never. Now you done it. Now you done it. Wait till the Queen hears about this. You done laid your hands on my royal person.
You don't get your royal person into some decent clothes, I'm gonna lay more than hands on you.
Granny, the boy's excited. He got hold of some story about me inheriting the castle. Let's listen to what he got to say.
I ain't listening to no nut that runs around in velvet bloomers and wears a woman's hat.
These here is royal raiments. This here's what the Queen favors for her knights.
What she sleeps in is her own business.
Mr. Drysdale just called him. That you, Jethro?
Forsooth and verily, my royal maid. Bend your knee to His Highness next to kin, you Saxon dog.
What did you call me?
When you gonna get it through your peasant head that you ain't got royal blood like us?
Now, hold on, Jethro.
But, Uncle Jed, it's true. I mean, sire, she's just your mother-in-law. She ain't blood kin to you like Ellie and me, but that makes her a vassal. She's got to do our bidding and walk 3 paces behind us.
That's nonsense.
No, that's all right, Jed. I don't mind walking behind Jethro.
That's more like it, knave. And when we struts around the castle, she brings up the rear.
Does that bring it up enough, or do you want another one?
Ellie Mae, what did Mr. Drysdale say?
Oh, he's on his way over. You done inherited yourself a castle.
See? I told you. Quick, everybody. Let's get into our royal raiment. After you, Oaf.
Oh, this is fabulous. Fabulous! I can see it now. The presentation at court. Knighted. A seat in the House of Lords. Luncheon with the Prime Minister. Tea with the Queen.
Chief, Mr. Clampett is hardly prepared for such honors.
Not him, me. I'll handle things just like I do here. The Clampetts will stay at the castle. I'll be up in London, receiving the honors, banking the money.
What money?
From the tenants who live on the 10,000 acres surrounding the castle.
Now, don't get your hopes up too high. If I know Mr. Clampett, he may decide not to go to England at all.
What do you mean? He's got to go. I've got to go. England is my kind of country. That's where I want to live.
But what if your wife doesn't want to go?
You think there's a chance?
I should say don't get your hopes up. The way of royalty is not the way of the Clampetts. They're plain, simple country people with no desire to have...
Dad, this and Harry. Royal cousin, some commoners is here. How you like my castle dress? Ain't it pretty?
Beautiful.
Yes, but Ellie, they don't wear things.
Quiet.
Doggone! When you hear someone knocking at the moat, you're supposed to let down the drawstring. Tell me something. How do you housebreak an oath? Oh? I've done got her oath's clothes and everything, but she won't grumble worth shucks. Hey, Oath! Come on in here.
Jethro says if I don't grumble, the Queen is going to throw me in the Tower of London and feed me to the beef eaters.
That is absolutely preposterous.
See? I told you.
No, I mean... Well, I can see there's a general misconception about modern-day England, which I shall clarify without further ado. Granny, there is no serfdom. You are not an oath. And Jethro, even members of the peerage no longer have the power to rule the lives of others. And Ellie Mae, these costumes are strictly for pageantry. And there is no debtor's prison, no torture for those overdrawn at the bank.
Will you stop putting England down?
You mean the Queen ain't going to feed me to the beef eaters?
Of course not.
Why, you...
Oh, Miss Janine, you done committed high treason against the crown and cited the oath. Your head is going to roll.
You better hang on to yours, too.
Don't you touch me, or the royal executioner will lop off your offended member. I am the head varlet to His Majesty, the Earl of Clampett.
Oh, where is the Earl?
He's up in the turret, putting on his royal raiment.
Hey, Paul, we got company.
Nah, not like that. By your leave, sire, two vassals beseech your audience.
I ain't coming down wearing these fancy duds.
Oh, please, Mr. Clampett. I mean your lordship. Grant us a boon. We humbly petition your royal presence.
Yeah, come on.
Hey, Paul.
Well, all right. This wasn't my idea.
Hot dog. Now you're going to see some class. All hail His Majesty, Earl of Clampett. Kneel, Oath.
Yes. Hello.
Trying to ruin my life, wreck my career, shatter my dream. I get the Clampetts all steamed up to go to England and claim their castle, and you destroy everything with your big mouth.
What are you raving about? All I did was tell the truth.
That's what I'm raving about. Let it out.
I know you consider this a great financial opportunity for you and your bank. But think about the Clampetts for a moment.
Okay. That's long enough. Now let's think about me and my bank.
Be reasonable. You'll be in London in your counting house. But those poor, simple hill folk will suddenly find themselves cast adrift in a society so steeped in tradition, so rigid with protocol, they'll be completely lost. They won't know what to do or say or who to turn to.
They'll turn to Lady Jane Hathaway. Who else?
Oh, well, if you have someone...
Lady Jane Hathaway.
Me?
You.
Chief, I'm just plain Jane Hathaway.
Do you think the Crown will overlook your services in converting the peasants of Possum Ridge into the keepers of Clampett Castle?
Chief, this is ridiculous. I could never explain...
Didn't you tell me your ancestors were English?
Well, yes, my great-grandfather and my...
Blood will tell. You belong in the castle. To the manor born, Lady Jane Hathaway of Hathaway Hall.
Hathaway Hall.
Mr. Drydale, I think we better pass on this going to England business. We don't belong in no castle.
Oh, you don't say that. Why, you love Hathaway Hall. Clampett Castle.
She said...
She's changed her mind. She didn't have the complete picture.
No, I do feel you should investigate the situation, Mr. Clampett. You might find that you'd enjoy the English country life.
This place in the country, isn't it?
Oh, yes. The castle sits in the middle of 10,000 acres.
Oh, that'd be a heap of land to work.
Oh, you don't have to work the land.
Well, we couldn't depend on Granny. She got her back up by being old.
Granny wouldn't have to work either.
She sure ain't gonna get Jethro behind no mule dressed in them head varlet clothes.
None of you has to work the land. You just enjoy it. You see, it's mostly forests and streams.
Yes, you'd spend your time stalking deer, shooting grouse, fishing, riding to the hounds.
Excuse me, pal. If and we ain't going to England, can I change back into my breeches?
Look mighty fetching, Ellie.
Isn't she beautiful? Can't you just see her dancing in the ballroom of the castle?
Yes, with a long line of handsome young Englishmen waiting their turn.
Oh, Ellie'd meet some fellers, would she?
Oh, Mr. Clampett, your lovely daughter would be the belle of the countryside.
Well, doggy. This hill has got more taters in it than I figured.
Oh, going, Flo?
Well, we'll study on it. It'll take some doing to swing your granny around.
Ain't nobody throwing me in the Tower of London. Chopping off nothing, neither. Not a damn blame nonsense.
Get back into your oats clothes.
You get in them.
Hey, hold on there. Are you revolting?
Not as revolting as you.
Hey, listen. We can't show up at our castle without we got us a royal oath.
I ain't open for nobody.
Hey, wait a minute, Granny. You go along as an oath, and quick as we get settled, I'll promote you. I'll make you a scullion or a serf. How about a sheriff or a common skull? Hey, wait a minute. You could be a witch. How about a shrew or a loud?
Do I have critters at the castle?
Hundreds of them. There's a private game preserve.
I'll go get ready for the trip.
Now, wait, Ellie. It ain't for positive sure where you going.
Just a minute, Ellie. Hold on.
Don't worry, it's in the bag.
I hope you're right.
Where's Jeff?
He just went out the back door.
Please, Granny. It commences an oath. You won't have to grovel. Just cringe a little. Oh, gone. There goes the trip to England.
What do you mean?
A head varlet has got to have himself an oath. Do you think I want to show up over there looking like a dumbbell?
Certainly not.
But maybe if... No use talking about it, Mr. Drysdale. I ain't going if I can't go like royalty. And that takes an oath.
Sir Jethro, I have never let you down yet. One oath coming up.
No, not Lady Jane.
Dog! She's even more oath than Granny.
Yes, isn't she a beauty? Good and sturdy. Show the young master your teeth.
This is going to make Granny happy. Now she can be a drudge or a troll or something. Hey, Granny, good news.
Chief, surely you wouldn't send me to England like this.
They sent us Twiggy, didn't they?
I resign.
Oh, no, come on, relax. I was joking. It was just to keep Jethro happy.
Well, somebody should tell Jethro that he's looked up the wrong Queen Elizabeth in his 400 years in the past.
All in good time. Now, let's not rock a happy boat. Now, you get busy and arrange for passports and buy airline tickets for all of us.
Right, Chief. I'll hurry and change.
What do you mean? Change. Maybe oafs go for half hair.
What are you doing dressed like that?
I'm going to the passport office with the rest of you.
Not wearing royal raiment, you ain't. You give a drudge an inch and she takes a mile.
Now, hold on. Jed says I'm just as good as the rest of you. He says I'm the royal granny.
He can't just say so. Why, there's got to be a ceremony. Did he take his sword out and drub you?
Of course not.
Then it ain't official.
Tis too.
Tain't either. Boy, if Queen Elizabeth ever finds out the shortcut you peasants is taking, she... Oh, shucks. Kneel down, I'll do it myself.
Paul! Paul, run! Jethro done got a knife on Granny!
What's all the commotion out there? Granny, you all right?
It's Sir Granny now. I've done been drubbed.
That's right, Paul. We's all one big royal family.
You ain't going to the passport office dressed like that, are you?
Put on your royal duds, like us.
Sure.
Just a minute. We's going to a U.S. government office, right?
Right.
Well, is it respectful to show up at a place like that wearing strange clothes?
No, it ain't. So get out of it.
It's so proper. Like us.
Yeah, sure.
Granny, what's proper around a castle in England is one thing, and we'll be the judge of that when we get there. But as long as we's in this country, we's going to dress American. Now, get changed.
Oh,
Gone.
just when I was all decked out like a grand lady.
Howdy, is this the place where you get passports?
That's, right.
We take 4 of them, please, sir. Thank you.
Well, I'll take your applications one at a time. Who would like to be first?
I'll go first, because I was the one with the education. That way they can see how it's done.
Fine. Raise your right hand, please. Swear the statements you're about to make to be the truth.
Yes, sir.
State your name, please.
Jethro.
And your surname?
Sir Jethro.
Sir Jethro.
Yes, sir. Sir Jethro de Bodine, head varlet to the royal family.
That's the royal family.
Yes, sir. The big one is the Earl of Clampetts himself. The girl is my royal cousin. And the little one, she used to be an oaf, but I done knighted her. His Majesty didn't want us to wear no royal raiments till we got over to our castle.
You have a castle.
Yes, sir. One of them great big rascals with a wall around it and towers and dungeons and such.
And bars on the windows.
Sure.
Lots of attendants.
The castle ain't a castle without its crawling with varlets and trolls and churls and such.
And keepers. Tell me something, Sir Jethro. Is this a rib?
No, sir. That's a nose.
Oh, my goodness.
You can't catch me on questions like that. I studied to be a brain surgeon.
A brain surgeon.
Yes, sir. Ain't that right, Uncle Jed? What's that, boy? Pretty near become a brain surgeon, didn't I?
That's right. He was torn twixt that and being a fry cook.
Oh, I get it. Where's the hidden camera? You guys really have me going there. Come on, where's the camera? Do we need any makeup? Oh, right here, huh? Hi, Alan. Love your show. Great bunch you got together.
Hey, mister, you gonna give us our passport?
Sure. I'm the royal passport granter. Hi, Margaret. It's Joe. I'm on hidden camera. Hi, kids. It's Daddy. I'm on television.
He acts like he saw it on Hidden Knot.
Listen, you. Come down from there. We're busy.
Oh, a miniature. One of those old Japanese jobs.
I ain't neither.
Hey, Alan, you really had me fooled. This is the good side.
We'll come back another time. You get some rest.
Sit down. Put your feet up.
So long.
Bye.
Come on. Where are you? Where you got it? You're in someplace here, Alan.
He's the U.S. government. I'm kind of glad we was going to England.
Excuse me, Miss Jane, but I reckon you'll be wanting to wear this on the plane.
Oh, Jethro, you dear, thoughtful boy.
It's your oath suit. You left it at the house.
Oh, but you don't really... I can't arrive in England wearing this.
You know, just a doggone minute. You and Mr. Drysdale promised me I'd have an oath.
And we never break our promise.
Oh, Chief.
England expects every oaf to do her duty. Pardon me, chaps. I must speak to one of my clerks.
It's bad enough I got to travel without my royal raiment and my falcon, but a knight just can't show up without his oath. It just ain't done.
I like that about you, Jethro. You want to be authentic.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's why I can't be your oaf.
Uh-huh.
I looked it up, and an oaf is a man.
Yeah, come to think of it, all the pictures I seen of oafs and knaves and such was men.
There you are.
Yeah, but where am I going to find me a man oaf this late?
Not all beings here in a fortnight or so. Miss Hathaway, Sir Jethro is waiting for his oath.
And we never break a promise, do we, Chief?
Never.
1 oath coming up.
That's the spirit.
I got me a real force sure off. Well, let's go. Let's go.
Now, Jethro, wait. You don't want to be seen with me like this. I just spent $500 for that beautiful English outfit. Now, can't let that go to waste. How about it?
Yeah, you're right. Let's go.
You look fine, Granny. Sure there's no light showing through, Ellie.
You wearing 6 petticoats.
Well, a woman has to be special careful in England. I hear the sun never sets there.
Jethro back yet?
No, he ain't. And if he makes us late, I'm going to throw him to the beef eaters.
Hip, hip. Well, let's go, chaps.
I told you he wasn't going to put on no airs.
Oh, I'm just wearing this to please Mr. Drysdale. He don't want it to go to waste.
Where is Mr. Drysdale?
Him and Miss Jane is going to take a later flight.
How come?
Well, like he says, it wouldn't do for no oaf to be seen getting off the same plane with us royal folks.
The last time, I'm telling you, we ain't going to put on no airs.
Don't worry. I understand. How about it?
Too late to undo it now. We'll miss our plane.
Yeah, we's going to be late.
Hey, that throne ain't for you. It's for His Royal Highness.
Let's go, boy.
But Uncle Jed, that throne is...
Drive on, boy.
Take the oaf out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the oaf. Hot dog, we's on our way to London now.
Sit down, Jethro. You rocked the airplane.
Sure wish Mr. Drysdale and Miss Jane was along.
Me too, Ellie. We're going to be strangers in a strange land.
Will y'all stop worrying? You're traveling with an educated man.
But you only graduated the 6th grade.
Ellie, you can't fall 12 years of schooling.
Did you learn anything about England?
Are you kidding? I studied 2 years of English.
Think you can find our castle?
Of course I can, Your Royal Majesty.
Don't call me that.
But, sire.
Shh. Told you I don't want to put on no airs.
Okay, then I'll just call you sire.
Everything all right here?
Finest frogs here, ma'am.
He just talks country like that when he's around you peasants. Actually, that there is His Royal Highness, the Earl of Clampetts.
Oh. And the 2 ladies?
The young one with the yeller hair, that's my royal cousin. And the little one with the big mouth, that's the royal granny. I'm His Majesty's head varlet, Sir Jethro de Bodine, Knight of the Round Table. He's heading for our castle.
I see.
You want to sit down and talk? Well, there's 2 seats that was being held for Mr. Drysdale, the royal oaf, and his secretary. But he said they don't allow oafs on this flight. But I reckon you know that.
Oh, no, it comes as a complete surprise.
He's flying over later, quick as he gets his oaf suit broke in.
Chief, I brought your clothes. Where are you?
Anybody with you?
No, I'm quite alone.
If you weren't a traitor, you'd be wearing this.
But if you weren't chicken, you'd be on that plane.
Like this?
Well, at least the Clampetts wouldn't be alone with Sir Jethro as their leader.
Oh, they're all right. I've got a friend at the airline keeping track of them. Besides, the flight they're taking lands only once in San Francisco. Then non-stop to London. So what can happen? Hello? Oh, Jim. How's my royal family doing? Hey, what? No. Well, find them.
Chief, what happened?
They left the plane in San Francisco. They think it's London.
Yeah, this is the Dandy Hill, driver. Okay, everybody, poke your heads up. Now, as we look out over the famous old city of London, the first thing we notice is a famous old English channel, right down yonder. And going across it there, the famous old London Bridge. Oh, and off to the left there, we see the famous old White Cliffs of Dover. And yonder, straight across the channel, you can see the coast of France.
What's that little place down there in the water?
Huh? Oh, that there is one of them British Isles.
Excuse me, buddy. Just where do you think you are?
Ain't this London?
No, this is San Francisco. What you've been pointing to is Alcatraz, El Cerrito, and San Leandro.
How do you like that? We done overshot England and landed in Spain.
Welcome back.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. I'm sorry you had to wait for us.
Oh, we're glad to do it. Where were you? The Royal Nut there was showing us the white cliffs of Oakland.
Don't ride the boy.
Well, he thinks he's so all-fired smart.
Yeah, and he didn't know London from San Francisco.
Well, it just so happens they both look a heap alike from the air. They both got 7 hills.
I believe that's Rome.
Huh? Where? I always wanted to see the pyramids.
My mistake. Look, it's almost dinner time. How about some food?
Well, help yourself, honey. We got a whole basket full there.
Granny brought along everything from sapsucker giblets to possum shank.
Well, you see, we didn't know you were going to bring all this food, so we have complete dinners ready to be served. They're included in the fare.
Hear that, youngins? We're going to have a fair.
A pizza picnic?
You gonna have sideshows and freaks?
If you ain't, you can borrow ours.
Wait till we get to London. You're gonna be flogged through the fleet.
Sit down, Granny.
Excuse me.
Why don't you get up and help the young lady?
Just a minute, ma'am. I'll help you.
Oh, thank you, but I have help.
It ain't that, ma'am. You see, I'm the royal taster.
Royal taster.
Yes, ma'am. You can't give His Highness and them no victuals without I taste them first.
Very well, Sir Jethro.
Ed, when do you reckon that fair's going to commence? I'm getting hungry.
Me too, Paul. What could be taking them so long? They got Jethro helping.
You just answered your own question.
Be patient. There's a heap of work to setting up a fair. You got to have sawdust to spread around.
Jethro's got a whole head full.
Get off the boy's back. This royalty business has got him stirred up, but he means well.
Excuse me, do you still have that basket of food?
Sure do, honey. You need it?
I think we might. The royal taster's just gone through 12 steak dinners.
The royal buzzard, the beast above tussle, the creature that's going to eat England. Get out of there, you 6.5-foot stomach!
That's France.
Huh? France? Hey, y'all, come on back. We done overshot England again.
No, I meant... Well, never mind. This is England.
Are you sure about it this time?
Absolutely.
Well, it's been nice meeting you. Hey, come on out to the castle sometime and see me when I'm wearing my armor.
Thank you.
Hey, have you ever been a damsel in distress?
Yes, for about 6,000 miles.
I beg your pardon. Are you by any chance Mr. Clampett?
Yes, sir. Jed Clampett.
Mr. Drysdale telephoned and asked me to meet you. I'm Cedric Giles Evans of the firm of solicitors representing the estate of your distant cousin, the late Marcus.
Well, I'm very pleased to meet you, Mr. Evans. This here is Granny and my daughter, Ellie.
Howdy.
That is?
He says that my cousin Marcus is late.
He's deceased.
Oh, well, he's in luck, because Granny's a doctor.
What kind of disease has he got?
Well, I'll have to figure that out any day when I examine him. Thank goodness I brought my medical supplies with me. Is Cousin Marcus up at the castle?
Well, yes, but you see, he's been laid to rest.
Good. Just keep him warm. Is the family doctor with him?
Madam, the gentleman is dead.
Oh. Well, us doctors is only mortal. Jethro, get a move on. We got sick kinfolks up there at the castle without a doctor.
Now, don't you worry. Granny has pulled folks through everything from thrush to dropsy.
If Cousin Marcus has dropsy, he better be turned over every now and then.
You know, madam, I rather imagine he's turning over at this very moment.
Come on, Jethro.
Should we call us a taxi cab?
Oh, no, I've got a car waiting. But first of all, you'll have to go through our British customs.
Well, we do our best if you show us.
Yes. Yes, of course.
What are y'all doing?
Well, this here's a British custom.
That ain't British. It's Spanish. What?
Don't listen to the royal booby.
This is what the Spanish do when they stomp on grapes. Well, come on, stomp.
Look, Paul, Mr. Evans showing us another custom. You go like this.
I think he's wanting us to follow him. Come on, everybody.
Now then, madam. Inspector here says that you refuse to open your luggage. If you stayed here, you have nothing to declare.
Well, I've changed my mind. I declare that you are the nosiest bunch I've ever seen.
That's why we're here. This is British customs.
Well, this was foolish enough. But poking through folks' belongings, you ought to be ashamed.
Mr. Clampett didn't object to opening his bag.
He ain't carrying what I am.
Oh, you had something to hide.
You betcha.
I'm afraid you leave us no choice.
Now, don't open that, I'm warning you. Now you've done it, betcha, preacher.
A preacher?
We got to get married. You have done touched my untouchable. It's the code of the hill.
Don't be embarrassed. I assure you there's no article of women's apparel that we... Oh, what do we hear?
That's my nightgown. Ain't nothing sacred to you, you wicked man.
What's this?
That's my doctor's bag.
You're a doctor?
Been one for 60 years. Got a patient waiting for me right now. Jed's cousin Marcus. He's laying up there at the castle with a bad case of bronchitis. Be careful, them are my medical supplies.
What's this?
That's a buckeye. And that's snake wart, dog bane, horse mint, skunk oil, wahoo, buckbrush, Gibson weed, spider web, cat hair, everything a doctor needs.
You are an MD.
That's right, mountain doctor.
And, what might this be?
That might be buttermilk, but I wouldn't light no match to see.
Come now, what is this?
That's Tennessee tranquilizer. One of my best homemade cures.
What does it cure?
What do you got?
Madam, I'm afraid my government would not approve of this homemade cure.
I ain't too happy about it neither.
I mean to say, I cannot permit you to bring it into the country. You should have emptied this jug before you boarded the plane.
If I'd have emptied that jug, I wouldn't have needed no plane.
See that these medical supplies are impounded?
Yes, sir.
Now, wait a minute. I need them things.
Granny? You still in here?
Oh, come in, Mr. Clampett. This is our chief customs inspector.
Howdy.
How do you do? I'm Chumley.
No, he ain't yet. He's mean. Cousin Marcus is laying at death's door, and he's fixing to pound my jug and stuff.
I wouldn't pound that jug if I was you. We could all be laying at death's door. That stuff will blow stumps.
We only plan holding these supplies pending inspection.
Don't believe him, Jed. He's a man of loose morals. It's true, Jed. He's a regular rip. Why, he flung open my bag, followed my flimsies, and then wouldn't call a preacher.
The cold of the hills don't hold here.
It holds in the four corners of the earth. I say throw down on him with your shotgun.
No, that ain't no way to commence a visit.
Well, at least whoop him and get my medicine back.
Granny, I hear tell that London is a right good-sized town. They ought to have at least one drugstore.
There we are. Sorry for the delay.
No harm done.
No harm done. If Cousin Marcus dies, he's to blame. And if that happens, you're going to catch it, you fresh young whippersnapper.
Young whippersnapper. Madam, I'm a sexagenarian.
To hear that, Jetty admits it. Shame on you, Dory. Take me to a drugstore. I said take me to a drugstore.
Be quiet, Granny.
This don't look like no drugstore to me.
No, madam, this is where my office is located. It's most urgent that I confer with my colleagues immediately.
Oh, you want us to come along?
No, I want to warn them. That is to brief them. Bradshaw will show you London. I'll, see you later.
Let's go see the Queen.
Yeah, take us to the Tower of London.
My thing is, I'm walking to the drugstore.
Now, Granny, Mr. Evans said to forget you're a doctor while you're here.
Never. This town needs every doctor it can get. What with folks driving on the wrong side of the street. Kid, I have swore a oath to heal the sick and ease the suffering of mankind. And I aim to take medicine to that castle.
Now, you can't go on foot.
Then I'll ride a bobby.
What's a bobby?
I don't know. But I heard tell that they'll help you get wherever you want to go.
Boy, this is embarrassing to a sophisticated head varlet like me. Driver, follow them two ignorant hay shakers. Hey, your microphone's heating up.
Are you sure this is where you buy medicine?
Positive, sir.
How long you aim to be here, Granny?
Oh, quite a spell, Ellie. I have to start from scratch. Everything from larkspur to leeches.
Let's go sightseeing and pick her up later.
No, I don't want to leave her alone again, Jethro. You and Ellie run on ahead and say your howdies to the Queen.
Let's go. Mr. Giles Evans asked me to give you this English money.
Well, that's real nice of him.
That's £25, sir.
What's that, Jed?
Well, it's supposed to be 25 pounds of English money. But whoever weighed it must have had his thumb on the scale.
Madam, good day, sir. Can I be of any assistance?
Well, yes, sir, I believe so. Thank you. The doctor here is wanting to stock up on medicine.
You're a doctor?
I am. You a druggist?
Definitely.
Well, here you are. Just fill it up with the standard items.
The standard items?
That's right. Buckeye, snakeport, dog bane, horse mint, spider web, eye of a newt.
You're one of those, Doctor. Well, now, let me see if I can remember the formula from Macbeth. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog, adder's fork.
Now there's a druggist.
I do rather pride myself on my Shakespeare.
I never tried that. But if you recommend it, I'll take some.
Take some Shakespeare?
How do you sell it over here? By the bag or by the bottle?
Well, I should say that we sell Shakespeare by the volume, by the play, by the sonnet.
Well, give me half a sonnet. I don't want him to think I don't know my business.
You're holding your own just fine, Granny.
If I could write the beauty of your eyes, and in fresh numbers number all your graces, the age to come would say the poet lies. Such heavenly touches ne'er touched earthly faces.
What do you make of that, Jim?
She's kind of took a shine to you.
Let's get back to my Shakespeare.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date.
He just can't get his mind on business.
I told you, Granny, that rascal's took me.
Glad you're with me, Jed. He's kind of bold. Tell you what, I'll take a whole sonnet of that Shakespeare.
May I suggest some Venus and Adonis?
If it's good stuff.
Touch but my lips with those fair lips of thine. Though mine be not so fair, yet are they red. The kiss shall be thine own, as well as mine.
don't you take a walk, Jed?
What about your duty to Marcus?
Who?
Cousin Marcus laying sick in the castle. You're patient.
Patience I can get, Jed. But at my age, suitors are kind of scared.
I'd best stay. Doggies, if I don't think we got a hold of another one of them sexagenarians.
Are you sure this is where the Queen lives?
Quite sure, sir. This is Buckingham Palace.
Hand me the bucket, Ellie.
What you fixing to do with our water?
I'm fixing to make my fortune, that's what.
Oh, you're Mike, and there's the bottle.
Ellie, man, ain't you never read no history? This is how Sir Walter Raleigh become famous.
What you mean?
Well, one day, Queen Elizabeth come sashaying out of the palace. There was this here puddle. Well, quick as a wink, Sir Walt took off his coat, laid it on the puddle for the Queen to walk over. Well, she was so tickled, she hauled off and gave him Virginia.
Virginia, huh?
Thank goodness there's one intelligent member of this here family. Excuse me. Would you please tell Queen Elizabeth that Sir Jethro de Bodine is waiting at the puddle?
What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already pale and sick with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, for she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do well. Cast it off. Oh, it is madame. Oh, that she knew she
What's the matter with Granny?
She done fell under the spell of a drugstore cowboy. Drive us to the castle and don't spare the horses. We gotta get there fast. You can mail us the Shakespeare.
Bring it yourself, honey.
I first encountered this opening sequence many years ago as a young viewer sitting cross-legged on the living room floor in front of an old television set. The sudden cry of alarm from Granny still rises in my mind with the same force it carried then. She calls out for help and declares that everything is gone and she has been robbed. The urgency in her voice pulls the entire household into motion at once. Jed and the others rush to her side and ask what is missing. Her reply comes with a mixture of regret and indignation. She says she knows she should have kept it under lock and key. Leaving it to lay out there in the open was too much temptation. The family quickly surveys the room and notes that the silver remains untouched. The thief headed straight for the true valuables. Those valuables turn out to be over 50 bars of her homemade life soap. That revelation still makes me smile with quiet recognition. In the world of the Clampetts, the most precious things are never the glittering objects that Beverly Hills would prize. Granny treats her soap as both practical necessity and personal treasure. She has poured labor and secret knowledge into each bar. When she speaks of movie stars who would do worse than risk jail to obtain her skincare beauty secret, the line lands with perfect comic timing. Ellie Mae offers a simple explanation that Granny has been out in the sun and the wind too long. Granny snaps back that no one asked for that opinion, even though Ellie Mae was responding to a question. The exchange is pure Irene Ryan. Her delivery carries the snap of mountain pride mixed with the warmth of family familiarity. I have returned to this moment across decades, and each time I feel the same affectionate recognition of a character who guards her dignity as fiercely as she guards her recipes. The cultural weight of homemade soap in the middle of the 1960s deserves careful reflection. Many rural households still produced their own cleansing bars from lye and fat because commercial products remained either expensive or suspect. Granny represents that older self-reliant tradition. Her soap is not merely a commodity, it is proof of skill passed down through generations. When she claims that movie stars would commit greater sins to possess it, The exaggeration is comic, yet it also asserts the superiority of country craft over city glamour. Buddy Ebsen as Jed listens with the quiet patience that defines his entire performance. He never mocks her. He simply absorbs the information and begins the practical work of discovering what happened. That steady presence has always grounded the wilder flights of the series for me. Jed is the moral center who keeps the family from spinning apart. Jethro soon enters the picture as the unexpected culprit. He has carried the entire stock of soap away for his new business venture. The revelation arrives without malice. Jethro speaks of the soap with genuine admiration. He declares that no other soap can touch it. The line is delivered with the wide-eyed enthusiasm that Max Baer Jr. perfected. I can still picture the physical comedy of his large frame moving with absolute confidence in an idea that is doomed from the start. The 5-second car wash is still only a promise at this stage, yet the theft of the soap already plants the seed of disaster. Granny demands to know where the soap has gone. Jed tries to calm her by saying he has already gotten to the bottom of the trouble. She wants the young man himself. The tension between her readiness for immediate justice and Jed's preference for measured response is one of the enduring rhythms of the show. I have always found that rhythm comforting. It mirrors the way real families negotiate between impulse and patience. The conversation turns toward the larger problem of idle hands. Jed observes that Ellie Mae and Jethro still have time left over even after all the chores he and Granny can invent. He wonders whether Mr. Drysdale might find work for them. Granny is skeptical. Previous attempts to place the young people in employment ended with them home the same day. She notes that between Ellie Mae as secretary and Jethro as cipher, they made the other workers look sluggish. The humor is gentle yet pointed. The Clampetts bring an intensity to ordinary tasks that the polished world of Beverly Hills cannot match. That intensity is both their gift and their comic flaw. As a viewer who grew up watching these episodes, I recognized early that the series was celebrating the very qualities that city society often dismissed as crude or excessive. The personal memory that surfaces most strongly for me is the sense of security the Clampett household always provided. Even when Granny is shouting about robbery and demanding hickory-hide heaters for the young ones, the underlying affection remains visible. Jed refuses the idea of corporal punishment and suggests that too much free time is the real issue. The exchange feels lived in. Irene Ryan and Buddy Ebsen play it with the ease of long familiarity. Their timing is never rushed. Each line is given room to breathe. That unhurried quality is part of what has kept the series alive for me across changing decades. Modern comedy often races toward the next joke. The Beverly Hillbillies trusted the audience to linger with the characters and find the humor in their steadfast natures. When the soap is first reported missing, the camera would have shown the empty space where the bars once rested. Even without visual detail, the dialogue paints the picture clearly. Granny has been robbed of something she made with her own hands. The loss is intimate. In an age when commercial advertising flooded living rooms with claims about laboratory-tested beauty products, her homemade bars stand as a quiet rebellion. She believes her formula is superior and the script never contradicts her. That confidence is infectious. I remember feeling as a child that Granny must be right. If movie stars would risk jail for her soap, then the rest of the world simply had not yet discovered the truth. The arrival of the next plot thread is already foreshadowed. Jed begins to think about finding occupation for the young people. The mention of Mr. Drysdale opens the door to the banking world and the restless energy of young Milby that will soon invade the mansion. Yet the soap crisis remains the emotional heart of this opening movement. It establishes Granny as the guardian of tradition and Jethro as the well-meaning disruptor. Ellie Mae occupies the middle ground of loyal observer. Jed holds the center with calm authority. These roles have remained fixed in my imagination for years. Every time I revisit the scene, I am struck by how economically the writers introduce the central conflict. A simple missing item becomes the catalyst for everything that follows. The physical comedy of the moment is suggested rather than described, yet I can still imagine Irene Ryan bustling about the room with hands on hips and eyes flashing. Her voice rises and falls with the cadence of mountain speech. The dialect is never mocked. It is presented as the natural music of her character. That respect for rural language was radical in its quiet way. At a time when television often portrayed country folk as figures of pure ridicule, the Beverly Hillbillies allowed them dignity alongside the laughter. Granny is funny because she is completely serious about her soap. The seriousness is the source of the comedy and also the source of the affection I still feel. As the scene progresses, Jed suggests that the young people have too much time on their hands. The observation is practical and kind. He does not accuse them of laziness. He simply recognizes that energy needs direction. That parental wisdom has always resonated with me. In my own life, I have watched restless young people find purpose only when given meaningful tasks. Jed embodies that understanding without ever lecturing. His method is quiet suggestion rather than command. Buddy Ebsen made the approach look effortless. The performance is so natural that it is easy to forget the craft behind it. Yet the craft is there in every measured pause and every soft-spoken line. The temptation that Granny mentions is more than a throwaway phrase. Leaving the soap in the open was an act of trust. The world of Beverly Hills has already begun to teach the Clampetts that trust can be costly. Yet they never abandon the habit of openness. That refusal to grow cynical is one of the deepest reasons the series continues to matter to me. The family is tested repeatedly by greed and misunderstanding, yet they return again and again to their own values. The missing soap is only the first small test. Larger challenges wait in the form of clever children and feuding neighbors and eventual journeys across the ocean. But the pattern is set here. Something precious is taken. The family responds with a mixture of outrage and practical action. Love remains the constant undercurrent. I have watched this sequence with friends who were seeing the show for the first time. Their laughter is immediate when Granny reveals the nature of the stolen goods. The surprise of learning that soap rather than silver is the prize never fails. That surprise is carefully prepared by the earlier lines about valuables and temptation. The writers understood the power of the delayed reveal. They trusted the audience to lean forward and wait for the answer. In an era of rapid cutting and constant stimulation, such patience feels almost luxurious. The luxury is part of the pleasure I still take in returning to these episodes. The historical context of the middle 1960s adds another layer. Commercial television was still a relatively young medium. Sponsors sold convenience and modernity. Against that backdrop, a character who prizes homemade soap becomes a gentle counter-voice. Granny does not reject progress. She simply insists that some older ways remain superior. The series never forces the point. It lets the comedy carry the message. Viewers could laugh at the culture clash while also sensing that the Clampetts might be onto something. That double movement of laughter and recognition is the signature achievement of the show, and it begins in this very scene. When Jethro is identified as the person who removed the soap, the tone shifts from alarm to reluctant acceptance. Jed already knows that the young man acted without criminal intent. The business idea is foolish, yet the motive is enterprising. That combination of foolishness and enterprise defines Jethro throughout the series. Max Baer Jr. played the role with such physical commitment that the character never feels mean-spirited. He is simply large and hopeful, and convinced that every new scheme will succeed. The soap is the first ingredient in the car wash that will soon dominate the next movement of the story. Already the seeds of physical disaster are planted. The cement pond waits. The ropes and chains wait. The paint-stripping power of Granny's formula waits. All of it begins with the empty space where the bars of soap once rested. I find myself lingering on the small details of the dialogue. Granny mentions that she should have kept the soap under lock and key. The phrase carries the weight of hard-earned experience. In the mountains, valuable items were protected because loss could mean real hardship. In Beverly Hills, the same instinct collides with a world of abundance and indifference. The collision produces comedy, yet it also produces a quiet sadness that the best performances allow to surface for a moment before the next joke arrives. Irene Ryan never lets the sadness linger too long. She snaps back into indignation and the scene moves forward. That control of tone is masterful. As a lifelong admirer, I have always appreciated how the series balances broad humor with moments of genuine feeling. The missing soap is presented as a crisis, yet the family response is ultimately tender. Jed offers to help make more soap. He refuses the idea of punishment. He looks for constructive solutions. Those choices reveal the moral core of the character and of the show itself. The Clampetts may be out of place in Beverly Hills, but they are never out of integrity. That integrity is what I return to again and again. It is what makes the laughter feel safe and the characters feel like old friends. The scene ends with the practical decision to involve Mr. Drysdale in finding occupation for the young people. The transition is smooth. The soap crisis has done its work of establishing the family dynamics and the central values. Everything that follows will grow from this soil. The restless energy of Jethro, the protective fire of Granny, the quiet wisdom of Jed and the loyal sweetness of Ellie Mae are all present in these first exchanges. I can still feel the same warmth I felt as a child when the familiar faces appeared on the screen. The years have not diminished the pleasure. If anything, they have deepened the appreciation for the craft and the heart that created these moments. The homemade life soap itself becomes a symbol that will echo through later events. Its power to cut grease will prove both useful and destructive. Its origin in Granny's kitchen will remind every viewer of the self-sufficient world the family left behind. Its theft by a well-meaning relative will illustrate the way love and folly can coexist inside the same household. All of these meanings are present from the first cry of alarm. The writers and the actors trusted the audience to carry those meanings forward. I have carried them for decades and they still feel fresh each time I revisit the scene. In the end, the missing soap is more than a plot device. It is an invitation into the world of the Clampetts. That world is one of strong feelings, simple truths and unbreakable family bonds. The comedy arises from the collision of that world with the polished surfaces of Beverly Hills. The affection arises from the steadfast refusal of the Clampetts to abandon who they are. Both the comedy and the affection begin here with Granny standing in the middle of the room and declaring that the most valuable thing in the house has been taken. I am grateful every time I hear her voice again. I still remember the first time I watched Jethro explain his grand new business idea. The memory returns with the same mix of delight and gentle dread that I felt as a child. He stands there full of pride and announces that everything is ready for the grand opening. He tells Bessie to get set for the advertising campaign. When she resists, he explains that all she has to do is float up a couple of 1,000 feet and toss out the handbills. The casual mention of a flying monkey delivering flyers already signals the scale of his ambition. Then he turns to the real invention. He asks what anyone thinks of his new car wash. The answer comes in the form of Uncle Jed's patient exasperation. Jed tells him that sometimes he acts like he has grits for brains. He points out how many ordinary car washes already exist in Beverly Hills. Jethro is undeterred. He insists his is the only one in the whole world that will wash a car in just 5 seconds. That claim still makes me lean forward with the same anticipation I felt decades ago. Jethro explains the method with complete seriousness. He is the only fellow smart enough to think of dunking the cars. He describes the process in careful detail. He puts the car in chains over yonder and hoists it up with ropes. The ropes are hooked to a block and tackle at either end. He hauls the car out over the water and then slacks it off so the whole vehicle drops into the pond. He slushes it around a little and lifts it out to the other side to drip dry. For 10 cents extra he cleans the inside too by simply leaving the windows open. The description is pure physical comedy waiting to happen. I can still picture Max Baer Jr. gesturing with large enthusiastic hands while Buddy Ebsen listens with the quiet knowledge that disaster is inevitable. The secret ingredient is of course Granny's soap. Jethro reveals that even in cold water her last soap cuts grease just like that. He admits it is kind of tough on car paint too, but he does not care much about repeat business. That single admission contains the entire comic engine of the sequence. The same formula that made Granny's skin look remarkable is about to strip the finish from every automobile that enters the pond. The conflict between useful power and destructive side effect is classic Clampett logic. What works perfectly in the mountains becomes a menace in Beverly Hills. I have always loved how the series never softens that collision. It lets the consequences unfold with cheerful inevitability. Uncle Jed gives Jethro 24 hours to drain the pond, pull down the ropes, and get the place back to normal. The deadline is firm yet delivered without raised voice. Jed tells him he is going to clean up all right, or he is going to end up with a seat in his britches on fire. The line is pure mountain justice wrapped in parental care. Jethro protests that he is going to set the world on fire. The contrast between his soaring ambition and the practical threat of a heated rear end still makes me smile. The physical comedy is already complete in the imagination. One can see the ropes, the chains, the block and tackle, and the cement pond waiting to swallow another vehicle. The truck will soon become the first and last customer. When I return to this scene now, I am struck by how completely Jethro believes in the invention. There is no irony in his voice. He has solved the problem of slow car washes by the simple expedient of total immersion. The logic is childlike and therefore unassailable inside his own mind. Max Baer Jr. played that conviction with his whole body. His posture is open, his gestures are broad, and his face shines with the joy of creation. The performance never asks the audience to laugh at the character. It invites us to laugh with the pure energy of someone who has never met a limitation he could not ignore. That energy has stayed with me across every viewing. The historical moment of the middle 1960s adds quiet resonance. Car ownership was spreading rapidly. Drive-in culture and roadside services were part of the new American landscape. Commercial car washes with spinning brushes and foam were becoming common in prosperous suburbs. Against that background, Jethro's 5-second dunk tank is both a parody and a kind of folk alternative. He rejects the complicated machinery of the modern world in favor of ropes, water, and powerful soap. The solution is elegant in its simplicity and catastrophic in its execution. The series often works this way. It takes a contemporary convenience and filters it through mountain common sense until the result is both funny and strangely logical. Granny has not yet discovered the full extent of the theft, but the threat hangs over the scene. Jed warns that the shingle for Jethro's pants will be needed when she finds out. The warning is practical rather than cruel. In the Clampett household, justice is still personal and physical. Yet the affection beneath the threat is never in doubt. Jed wants the pond restored and the ropes removed because the family home must remain a place of order. The cement pond itself is already a symbol of their uneasy adaptation. What began as a swimming hole has become an industrial tool and is about to become a hazard. I have always found that transformation quietly moving. The family keeps trying to make the new world serve the old values and the world keeps resisting. The advertising plan involving Bessie the monkey is another perfect detail. Jethro intends to send her aloft with handbills. The image of a monkey floating thousands of feet above Beverly Hills scattering paper is pure visual absurdity. It also reveals how completely Jethro has embraced the idea of spectacle. He does not merely want a functional business, he wants a grand opening that will turn customers away because the demand is too great. The gap between that dream and the reality of a truck sunk in the pond is the source of the comedy. When the ropes later break and the engine dies, the dream collapses in the most literal way possible. Yet even then, Jethro remains focused on the next step. He has sold the antiques to Milby and needs the truck to haul them. The business mind never stops working, even when the business itself is underwater. I remember watching this sequence with my own family and hearing the shared laughter when Jethro describes leaving the windows open for the interior cleaning. The practical detail makes the whole scheme feel almost plausible for a single beat. Then the mind catches up and sees the water pouring into the seats and the dashboard and the irreversible damage. That beat of near plausibility is essential. The best comedy in the series always rests on a foundation of internal logic. Jethro is not random. He is rigorously consistent inside his own understanding of the world. That consistency is what allows the audience to care about him even while laughing at the results. Uncle Jed's response remains the moral and emotional anchor. He does not explode. He sets a clear deadline and states the consequences. The calm is more powerful than anger would have been. Buddy Ebsen made that calm look effortless, yet it required precise control. Every line is measured. Every pause allows the weight of responsibility to settle. In a decade when many television fathers were either buffoons or authoritarian figures, Jed Clampett offered something rarer. He was steady. He was kind. He was prepared to let the young people learn through consequence while still protecting the larger family order. That balance has always felt like wisdom to me. The soap itself continues to function as more than a prop. Its grease-cutting power is celebrated and then immediately undercut by the admission that it harms paint. The dual nature of the formula mirrors the dual nature of the Clampett presence in Beverly Hills. Their strengths become complications, their honesty becomes social awkwardness, their energy becomes disruption, yet the series never suggests they should change. It simply watches the sparks fly. In this scene, the sparks are literal. The soap will strip paint. The ropes will break. The truck will sink. The consequences are physical and visible, and therefore perfect for television comedy of the period. When I think about the lasting appeal of this invention, I return to the sheer physicality of the description: chains, ropes block and tackle water and a falling automobile. The sequence is written to be seen. Even in pure dialogue form, the images rise clearly. One can hear the creak of the ropes and the splash of the car and the drip of water afterward. The writers trusted the audience to complete the picture. That trust is part of what makes the older style of comedy feel generous. It leaves room for the viewer to participate. I have always enjoyed that room. It turns passive watching into active imagining. The 24-hour deadline creates immediate narrative pressure. The clock is running. Jethro must dismantle his dream before Granny learns the full truth and before the pond becomes a permanent eyesore. The pressure produces the next wave of schemes, and the arrival of young Milby will soon complicate everything further. Yet for this moment the focus remains on the car wash itself. The invention stands as a perfect expression of Jethro's character. It is ambitious, impractical, destructive, and oddly pure. He wants to clean cars in 5 seconds. He has found a way that works in theory. The theory simply fails to account for paint and structural integrity and the reaction of the family. In the broader cultural landscape of the 1960s, the car had become a symbol of freedom and status. Keeping it clean was part of the new middle-class ritual. Jethro's method short-circuits the ritual entirely. There is no waiting in line, no attendant with a sponge, no careful drying by hand. There is only the plunge and the lift and the drip. The efficiency is absolute, and the side effects are absolute as well. That absolute quality is what makes the comedy land so cleanly. Half measures would have been less funny. Total immersion is both the joke and the philosophy. I find myself returning often to the line about not caring much about repeat business. It is thrown away almost casually, yet it reveals everything. Jethro is interested in the spectacle of the grand opening and the immediate satisfaction of the first customers. The long-term relationship with the client is irrelevant. In that sense, he is both a pure entrepreneur and a pure child. The combination is irresistible. Max Baer Jr. understood the combination instinctively. His performance never judges the character. It simply inhabits the joy of the idea. That joy remains contagious even after countless viewings. As the scene closes, the threat of Granny's discovery hangs in the air. The soap is gone. The pond is ready. The ropes are strung. The family order is about to be tested again, yet the affection underneath every line remains constant. Jed wants the mess cleaned up because he loves the young man and loves the home they share. Jethro wants the business to succeed because he wants to contribute and to shine. The collision of those desires produces the comedy and also the quiet emotional truth that keeps me coming back. The 5-second car wash is ridiculous. It is also a sincere attempt to make a place in the world. That sincerity is what the series always protects, even while it lets the ropes break and the truck sink. The cement pond itself has always held a special place in my memory of the show. It began as a symbol of unexpected wealth and leisure. In this sequence it becomes an industrial tool, and then a trap. The transformation is complete and temporary. Soon it will be drained and restored. The cycle of invention and restoration is part of the rhythm of the Clampett life. They reach too far. They make a mess. They clean it up with the help of family, then, they reach again. The pattern is comforting in its predictability and endlessly entertaining in its variations. This car wash is one of the purest variations. It takes the simple desire for cleanliness and turns it into aquatic chaos. I have tried to explain the appeal of this scene to people who never watched the series in its original run. The explanation always returns to the same elements. The complete commitment of the character, the physical clarity of the invention, the patient authority of the uncle, the looming presence of the grandmother who will not be pleased. The way every detail serves both the joke and the larger portrait of a family trying to remain itself inside an alien world. Those elements are all present here. They continue to work on me with undiminished power. The perils of the grease-cutting soap become a quiet metaphor as well. Something powerful enough to clean can also destroy. Something useful in one context becomes harmful in another. The Clampetts themselves are that something. Their honesty and energy clean away the pretensions of Beverly Hills, yet they also strip away the smooth surfaces that the local society prefers to maintain. The soap is only the most literal expression of the pattern. Watching the pattern unfold still gives me pleasure. It reminds me that the series was always about more than easy laughs. It was about the cost and the value of remaining true to a way of life. When the truck finally ends up in the pond, the invention reaches its logical conclusion. The ropes break, the engine dies, the dream is submerged. Yet even then Jethro is already thinking about the next transaction. He has the check from Milby. He needs the truck to move the antiques. The business mind continues. The resilience is part of what I admire. Failure does not slow him for long. He simply adjusts and moves forward. In a culture that often treats failure as permanent, the character offers a different model. He fails spectacularly and then keeps going. The model is comic, yet it is also oddly encouraging. Uncle Jed's 24-hour order remains in force. The pond must be drained. The ropes must come down. The home must return to normal. The restoration will not be simple. Young Milby is already on the property. The antiques are already sold. The next complications are already in motion, but the car wash itself has had its moment. It has been invented, explained, tested, and ruined in the space of a single movement of the story. The efficiency of the storytelling matches the efficiency Jethro claimed for his wash. 5 seconds of airtime would not be enough to contain it, yet the idea of 5 seconds remains the perfect comic exaggeration. I close this reflection with the same warmth I felt at the beginning. The 5-second car wash is one of the purest expressions of Jethro's spirit. It is large, impractical, hopeful and doomed. Max Baer Jr. made it unforgettable. Buddy Ebsen made the response unforgettable. The writers made the logic unforgettable. Together they created a sequence that still lives in my memory with the clarity of the first viewing. The ropes, the pond, the soap, and the sinking truck form a complete comic world. I am grateful that the world continues to exist, and that I can return to it whenever I wish. I can still see the moment when little Milburn first appears in the bank office. The memory is clear and warm even after all these years. Mr. Drysdale brings the boy in and introduces him to Miss Hathaway as his nephew and namesake. The parents have gone to Europe and asked him to keep an eye on the child for a few hours. Tomorrow the boy starts boarding school. Miss Hathaway greets him with polite caution. Drysdale sends the child into the inner office to play, and then turns to his secretary with a mixture of pride and mild apology. He calls the boy a fine youngster and a credit to the family. Miss Hathaway is less convinced. She asks how he got stuck with keeping that miserly little monster again. The exchange still makes me smile because it captures the entire tension of the character in a few plain sentences. Drysdale defends the child by recalling the previous year. He says the boy was only going through a transition phase. Miss Hathaway compares the phase to the Wolfman. Drysdale insists he is a fine lad. Then, he admits the truth with a kind of fond resignation. The boy is a grasping, avaricious, crafty, conniving little money grubber. Everyone says he reminds them of Drysdale himself as a boy. At the age of 6, when other children played hide and seek, this child had already started his first business. While every ordinary kid opened a lemonade stand, Milburn opened a pawn shop. The detail is perfect. It establishes the boy as a miniature version of the banker and therefore both comic and slightly alarming. I have always felt a private recognition in that portrait. The series understood that certain traits appear early and remain consistent across a lifetime. The need for other interests is discussed next. Drysdale says the boy needs to go places and do things with someone he looks up to, someone big and tall and strong. Miss Hathaway agrees in theory and then firmly refuses the practical assignment. She will not take him again even if given a whip and a chair. The refusal is comic, yet it also reveals how exhausting the child has proven in the past. Before the argument can continue, the boy himself reappears. He has borrowed a book from the desk. The title is a sympathetic look at Ebenezer Scrooge. Drysdale declares it one of his favorites. The shared taste in literature is another quiet joke that still lands for me. The child is already studying the art of careful money management. When asked what he would like to do, the boy answers that a real fun thing is making money. He has his eye on some property in the valley. Drysdale asks how he plans to earn the necessary funds. The child proposes a wager. He will bet $5 that in 30 seconds Drysdale's face will turn blue. Drysdale accepts in order to teach a lesson about gambling only on sure things. The boy then produces blue chalk powder and wins the bet. The small con is executed with calm precision. I remember laughing out loud the first time I saw it, and I still feel the same amusement. The child is not malicious. He is simply practicing the skills he believes the world rewards. Max Baer Jr. is not yet in the scene, but the groundwork for the later collision with Jethro is already being laid. The arrival of Jed Clampetts shifts the focus. Jed has come because he is worried that Jethro and Ellie Mae have too much free time. Even after all the chores he and Granny can invent, the young people still have an hour or more each day with nothing to do. Drysdale listens while the boy offers water and then coffee, tea, or milk. Jed declines. The child is already performing the role of attentive host. Drysdale remarks that he has a great career ahead of him. Jed observes that he is already a pretty good waiter. The small domestic moment softens the earlier portrait of the money grubber and shows that the boy can also be polite when it serves his purposes. The conversation returns to the problem of occupation for the Clampett young people. Ellie Mae is dismissed as a secretary prospect. Jethro is harder to place. Jed asks if anyone needs a professional eater. Drysdale promises to find something that suits the talents and education involved. Jethro has said he will take anything as long as it is an executive job. The request is pure Jethro and still makes me shake my head with affection. While Drysdale considers the matter, the boy begins to cry because he wants attention. The banker is forced to juggle the important depositor waiting outside and the demanding child in the room. The solution appears suddenly. Jed offers to let the boy spend the day at the Clampett mansion. Ellie Mae can serve as babysitter. The idea solves two problems at once and Drysdale accepts with relief. Ellie Mae is brought in. She greets the boy and learns she has a job. She is 11 years old herself in spirit, though older in years, and she declares she is very insecure. Then she brightens. She will pretend the child is an oversized monkey. The line is delivered with the sweet straightforwardness that Donna Douglas always brought to the role. I have always loved that moment. Ellie Mae approaches the task without fear and without condescension. She simply finds a familiar category and places the boy inside it. The decision to send him to the mansion is made, and the first signs of trouble are already visible to anyone who knows the Clampett household. At the mansion, the preparation begins in typical fashion. Granny gathers blankets, bottles and diapers. She has misunderstood the age of the visitor. She believes she is about to care for an infant of 11 months. The pile of baby equipment is assembled with loving care. She can hardly wait to hold the little bundle again. When Jethro carries the boy inside, the contrast is immediate and comic. The child is large for 11 months. He is almost as big as Jethro was at that age. Then the truth emerges. The visitor is 11 years old. Granny processes the information with a mixture of surprise and quick adjustment. She invites him to the kitchen for milk and pie. The boy prefers a tour of the house instead. The preference already signals that he is more interested in assets than in hospitality. I have always found the misunderstanding about the age to be one of the gentlest jokes in the sequence. Granny prepares for a helpless infant because that is the shape her caretaking instinct still takes. The reality of a calculating 11-year-old requires a different response. The series never mocks her readiness to nurture. It simply lets the facts correct the assumption. Irene Ryan plays the shift with perfect control. There is a brief moment of confusion and then the practical mountain woman takes over. The milk and pie are still offered. The door to the kitchen remains open. The child is still welcomed even after the true nature of the visit is clear. The early signs of trouble appear as soon as the tour begins. The boy looks at the house with the eyes of a future developer. He remarks that he would love to go into escrow on a place like this. Jed gently explains that the mansion has 32 rooms and 14 baths but no escrow. The correction is polite and final, yet the boy has already begun to inventory the contents. The stage is set for the antique selling that will follow. Jethro is still angry about the forced closure of his car wash. The boy listens and offers the opinion that a 5-second car wash could make a fortune. Jethro is impressed. He asks how much schooling the child has had. The answer is the 6th grade. Jethro nods as if that explains the superior business sense. The mutual recognition between the large hopeful young man and the small calculating boy is both funny and oddly touching. When I watch this sequence now I am struck by how carefully the writers establish the boy as a force that will test the Clampett values. He is not evil, he is simply the logical extreme of the world the family has entered. Money is the primary language he speaks. Opportunity is the primary landscape he sees. The Clampetts speak a different language and see a different landscape. The collision is inevitable and the comedy arises from the complete sincerity of both sides. The boy believes he is offering fair deals. Jethro believes he is unloading clutter. Granny believes she is offering hospitality. Jed believes he is solving a temporary problem of free time. Each belief is correct inside its own frame and incorrect inside the larger frame of the story. The historical context of wealthy children in the 1960s adds another layer for me. Boarding schools and European trips were markers of a certain class. The child who already thinks in terms of property and interest rates is an exaggerated but recognizable product of that class. The series places him inside the Clampett home and lets the contrast do the work. No lecture is required. The audience sees the pawn shop past and the escrow future and understands the distance between that path and the path the Clampetts still walk. The distance is comic, yet it is also a quiet commentary on what is gained and what is lost when money becomes the central measure of a life. Miss Hathaway's earlier reluctance now feels prophetic. She knew the exhaustion that follows an encounter with the child. The Clampetts are about to learn the same lesson. Yet they approach the lesson with open hands. Ellie Mae is ready to pretend he is a monkey. Granny is ready with pie. Jed is ready with patience. That openness is the quality I have always cherished. The family does not protect itself against complication, it absorbs complication and keeps its essential nature intact. The arrival of Milby is only the latest complication. The early signs of trouble are clear to the viewer, yet the family moves forward without defensive walls. The betting trick with the blue chalk powder remains one of my favorite small moments. It is executed quickly and without apology. The child has learned that information and preparation create advantage. He uses the advantage without hesitation. Drysdale accepts the loss with the same fondness he shows throughout. The relationship between uncle and nephew is not sentimental, yet it is real. The banker sees himself in the boy, and therefore cannot condemn the methods. That self-recognition is part of the character depth that the series often achieved in brief exchanges. I still appreciate the efficiency. As the boy settles into the mansion, the narrative tension quietly increases. The car wash has already failed. The antiques are about to change hands. The feud with the neighboring household is still in the future, yet the ingredients for multiple strands of trouble are all present. The babysitting assignment that was meant to solve the problem of free time has introduced a new source of chaos. The irony is gentle and complete. I have always enjoyed the way the series constructs these ironies without ever announcing them. They simply unfold through the actions of the characters. Donna Douglas' portrayal of Ellie Mae in The Hiring Moment still feels fresh. She accepts the job with a mixture of uncertainty and practical goodwill. The oversized monkey comparison is not an insult, it is a working method. Ellie Mae has experience with animals and she will apply that experience to the human child. The approach is pure Clampett. When faced with the unfamiliar, they reach for the familiar and proceed. The method often produces unexpected results, yet it also produces the loyalty and the humor that define the family. Buddy Ebsen's Jed remains the quiet center. He offers the hospitality of the home without calculation. He corrects the escrow remark without scolding. He allows the tour to proceed. His presence makes the entire sequence feel safe even as the audience senses the coming complications. That sense of safety is part of what has kept me returning to these episodes across decades. No matter how high the chaos rises, the moral ground of the family remains firm. The young money grubber has arrived. The babysitting assignment has begun. The early signs of trouble are visible in every inventory glance and every businesslike comment. Yet the dominant feeling I carry away from the sequence is still affection. The characters are fully themselves. The comedy arises from their authenticity rather than from any forced exaggeration. The boy is truly interested in money. The family is truly interested in welcome. The collision of those interests will produce the next wave of events, yet the welcome remains the stronger force. That balance is the lasting achievement of the scene and the reason it continues to live in my memory with such clarity and warmth. I return to this sequence with the same quiet amusement I felt the first time the tour of the mansion began. Young Milby walks through the rooms with the sharp eyes of a future dealer. He pauses before an object that Jethro regards as ordinary. The boy identifies it as a Ming vase. Jethro looks at the same object and sees only an old vase meant for flowers. The difference in perception is the entire joke and the entire commentary. I have always loved how cleanly the series draws that line. One character carries the knowledge of dynasties and market value. The other carries the knowledge of practical use and immediate function. Both are sincere. The collision produces the sale that follows. Milby offers $1 for the vase. Jethro is astonished that anyone would pay a full $1 for something so plain. He tries to warn the boy that the price is too high. When the offer drops to 50 cents, Jethro accepts with the reluctant air of a man who hates to cheat a child. He calls the buyer a sucker, yet he completes the transaction. The moment still makes me smile because the true direction of the advantage is the opposite of what Jethro believes. The boy knows the vase is centuries old and worth far more. Jethro knows only that it holds flowers. The gap in knowledge is the source of the comedy and also the source of the mild ache I sometimes feel. The Clampetts have been given a house full of treasures they do not recognize as treasures. Their innocence protects them from greed, yet it also leaves them open to the calculations of those who do recognize value. The tour continues. Another object catches the boy's attention. Jethro does not know the name of the painter, yet he notices that the man in the picture dresses funny. Milby supplies the name Gainsborough. He wants to buy that piece as well. Jethro begins to feel a faint uneasiness. He tells the boy he has already bought an awful lot of stuff. Milby answers that he will write a check when everything is totaled. The promise of a single settlement keeps the sales moving. Jethro confesses that he cannot help feeling he is taking advantage of a little kid. He is giving away objects for $5 that do not even produce decent laughs. Milby replies that he is buying for a friend who likes old junk and does not care what he spends. The explanation satisfies Jethro. He decides to watch out because he is really taking the boy to the cleaners. That decision still strikes me as one of the purest expressions of Jethro's character. He is not dishonest. He is simply operating inside a completely different system of value. In the mountains, an object is worth what it can do. In Beverly Hills, an object is worth what someone will pay because of its age, or its name. Jethro tries to apply mountain logic to city objects and ends up selling a fortune for pocket money. Max Baer Jr. plays the growing confidence with perfect physical ease. His shoulders relax. His voice takes on the tone of a successful merchant. He is certain he is winning. The certainty is what makes the later revelation so effective. I remember sitting with family members when this sequence first aired and hearing the collective intake of breath as the list of sold items grew. The house is full of brick, and paintings and stuff, most of it hundreds of years old. Jethro describes it as clutter that is just taking up space. He has unloaded almost a half-ton of it onto the boy. The total comes to nearly $200. He is proud of the figure. He believes he has performed a public service by clearing the rooms and a private service by putting money in the family pocket. The pride is genuine. The misunderstanding is total. That combination has always felt to me like the heart of the series. The Clampetts act with good intentions inside a world whose rules they have not yet learned. The world takes advantage without always meaning to be cruel. The result is comedy that never loses its affection for the victims. The receipts are signed. Jethro carefully records each sale. He plans to show the check to Uncle Jed as proof that he is a business genius. He is certain the evidence will restore permission for the 5-second car wash. The plan is already doomed by the truck sitting in the cement pond, yet Jethro does not know that yet. He moves through the rooms in a state of commercial bliss. The boy follows and continues to select objects. Each new purchase deepens the quiet disaster. I have always admired how the writers allow the sales to accumulate without rushing the pace. The audience is given time to feel the weight of what is leaving the house. The weight is both comic and oddly sad. The cultural distance between the two systems of value deserves reflection. In the 1960s, the market for antiques and fine art was expanding among the newly prosperous. Ownership of a Ming vase or a Gainsborough signaled education and taste and disposable wealth. For the Clampetts, those same objects are simply part of the strange inventory that came with the mansion. They did not buy them. They do not display them for status. They live among them the way they would live among any household goods. When Jethro sells them, he is not disposing of heritage. He is disposing of clutter. The series never condemns that attitude. It simply lets the consequences appear. The consequences are financial loss for the family and financial gain for the boy and a large measure of laughter for the audience. Buddy Ebsen is mostly off stage during the actual selling, yet his presence is felt in Jethro's desire to impress him. The young man wants to prove that he can contribute. The car wash failed. The antique sale is the replacement success. The need to be useful inside the family is constant. I have always found that need moving. Jethro is not lazy. He is endlessly energetic in the wrong directions. The energy is what Max Baer Jr. captured so completely. Even when the direction is disastrous, the vitality remains appealing. That vitality keeps the character from becoming merely foolish. He is foolish and hopeful and loyal all at once. When Granny later hears the good news, she is initially stunned. Jethro announces that he has unloaded the clutter and received almost $200. He expects celebration. The expectation is reasonable inside his own frame. The reality is that he has sold irreplaceable objects for a fraction of their worth. The gap between expectation and reality will soon produce the reckoning. Yet even in the moment of announcement, the affection inside the family remains visible. Jethro wants to please. Granny wants to understand. The misunderstanding is temporary, the bond is not. I think often about the phrase old junk that Milby uses. The boy knows the phrase is false. He employs it to keep Jethro comfortable. The small deception is practiced without malice, it is simply efficient. In the world the boy inhabits, efficiency in the pursuit of profit is a virtue. In the world the Clampetts inhabit, plain speaking is the virtue. The two virtues cannot occupy the same transaction without comedy. The series stages that comedy with patience and with care. No one is punched. No one is ruined in a permanent way. The objects will be recovered. The lesson will be absorbed or ignored according to each character's nature. The tone stays light because the underlying love stays constant. The physical comedy of the sequence lives in the contrast between the boy's calm selections and Jethro's growing excitement. One moves like a collector. The other moves like a man clearing a barn. The difference in body language tells the story even before the dialogue confirms it. I have always appreciated how the performances trust the audience to notice such details. The comedy is not underlined. It is simply allowed to exist. That restraint is part of what gives the older episodes their lasting texture. As the sales conclude, Jethro holds the signed receipts like trophies. He has proof of his success. He has money to show. He has cleared space in the house. All three achievements are real inside his understanding. The larger understanding waits off stage in the form of Mr. Drysdale and the true valuations. The delay between the sales and the discovery is essential. It allows the audience to live for a while inside Jethro's satisfaction. We are invited to share the pleasure before we share the correction. That invitation is generous. It keeps the laughter from becoming superior. We laugh with the character more than at him. The Ming vase and the Gainsborough are only the most visible items. The script makes clear that the hall includes a half-ton of assorted objects. The sheer volume turns the fire sale into something almost industrial. Jethro has not merely sold a few pieces. He has conducted a wholesale clearance. The scale matches his usual approach to life. When he acts completely. The same completeness that produced the 5-second car wash now produces the empty shelves and the full pockets. Both projects begin with hope and end with the need for restoration. The pattern is consistent and therefore comforting. I carry away from this sequence a renewed appreciation for the way the series treats innocence. Jethro's innocence is not stupidity. It is a coherent alternative system of meaning. The boy's knowledge is not villainy. It is the logical product of his upbringing. When the two meet, the result is a transfer of objects and a temporary transfer of wealth. The deeper transfer is the reminder that the Clampetts remain outsiders even inside their own house. The treasures that surround them belong to a history they did not live. Their own history is still the one they carry in their speech and their values and their loyalties. That history is what the series ultimately protects. The fire sale ends with Jethro confident and the boy satisfied and the house a little emptier. The next events will reverse the transactions and restore the objects. Yet the memory of the sales remains. It remains because it captures something essential about the family. They can be fooled yet they cannot be corrupted. They can lose money yet they cannot lose their essential nature. The antiques leave the house for a while. The character of the people who live there does not leave it all. That permanence is what I return to and what continues to give me pleasure long after the specific jokes have faded. I still feel the shift in temperature when the scene moves to the bank and young Milby presents his acquisitions. The boy stands before his uncle and Miss Hathaway with the calm satisfaction of a successful merchant. He announces that he has bought every piece of fabulous antique for them. All he needs is the check to complete the payment. He calls Drysdale partner and says the uncle will be proud. He explains that he conned the hillbilly Hicks for less than $200. The same objects are worth 1,000 times that amount. He proposes that they sell everything and make a fortune under the name Drysdale and Drysdale Antiques. The speech is delivered with complete confidence. I remember the first time I heard it and felt the dual reaction of laughter and mild alarm. The child has done exactly what his nature prepared him to do. Mr. Drysdale processes the information in stages. At first, there is the flicker of financial interest, then the larger reality arrives. The Clampetts are his most important depositors. The loss of their goodwill would cost far more than any profit from the antiques. The signed receipts from Jethro are produced as proof. The name Simple Simon is attached to the seller with open scorn. The boy has treated the transaction as a triumph of cleverness over simplicity. Drysdale sees the same transaction as a threat to the bank itself. The conflict between short-term gain and long-term relationship is stated without lectures. It simply exists in the room. I have always admired how cleanly the series stages that conflict. The discipline that follows is precise and personal. Drysdale does not shout for long. He tells the boy that this is something he has been eating all his life and he is not buying his way out of it. The punishment will hurt the child more than it hurts the uncle. Then he takes the money belt. The choice of consequence is perfect. Spankings are familiar and therefore limited in effect. the removal of the money belt strikes at the center of the boy's identity. Miss Hathaway later reports that they could hear the yelling clean inside the house. Drysdale clarifies that the yelling was not about the spanking. The boy is used to spankings. The money belt is where it really hurts. The distinction still makes me smile with recognition. The series understood that different characters feel pain in different places. When Jed and the family arrive, the tone softens at once. Jed surveys the recovered objects and observes that the boy sure cleaned out the place. He is simply glad they reached the bank before any resale occurred. He adds that if the little fellow had wanted the items that badly, he should have asked. The Clampetts would probably have given him most of the stuff. The statement is pure Jed. Ownership is less important than generosity. The same objects that the boy saw as inventory the family sees as things that can be shared. The difference in outlook is the quiet heart of the scene. Buddy Ebsen delivers the lines with the unhurried sincerity that defined his performance. There is no anger at the child. There is only mild regret that the request was never made. Jed places the blame on Jethro for taking advantage of a sweet little fellow. The judgment is gentle and slightly misplaced. Jethro believed he was the one being shrewd. The true direction of the advantage was the opposite. Yet Jed's instinct is to protect the younger and smaller party. That instinct has always felt consistent with the character I first met as a child. He corrects his own people first. He assumes good intentions in outsiders until proven otherwise. The assumption keeps the moral tone of the series steady even when the plot turns on misunderstanding. Jethro himself is absent from the bank. He is out back at the mansion trying to extract the truck from the cement pond. The physical consequence of the car wash and the financial consequence of the antique sale exist side by side. Both projects began with hope and ended with the need for repair. The parallel is never announced, yet it is easy to feel. I have always appreciated those quiet parallels. They give the episodes a sense of order beneath the surface chaos. Miss Hathaway's presence adds another layer of observation. She has watched the boy operate before. She knows the exhausting effect he produces. Her earlier refusal to take him for the day now feels justified, yet even she cannot fully condemn a child who so clearly mirrors the man she works for. The series allows that complexity to stand. No character is reduced to pure villain or pure fool. The boy is grasping, yet he is also a product of the values that surround him. Drysdale is furious, yet he is also confronting a younger version of himself. The confrontation is uncomfortable and therefore honest. The return of the loot is handled with practical speed. The objects are reclaimed. The check is stopped. The immediate danger to the Clampett account is removed. What remains is the emotional residue. The boy has been disciplined at the point of his greatest attachment. The family has reaffirmed its willingness to give rather than sell. Jethro will eventually learn that his great business success was a misunderstanding. Each of those outcomes carries a small measure of growth or at least of clarification. The series rarely forces large moral transformations. It prefers small adjustments that leave the characters essentially themselves. I think often about the phrase "sweet little fellow" that Jed uses. The description is sincere. Jed sees the child through the lens of his own protective nature. The same child has just executed a systematic removal of valuable objects. Both views are true inside the scene. The ability to hold both views at once is part of what gives the episode its texture. Modern comedy sometimes insists on a single judgment. The Beverly Hillbillies allowed multiple judgments to coexist. That allowance still feels generous to me. The money belt itself becomes a quiet symbol. It is the portable center of the boy's power. When it is taken, the power is interrupted. The interruption is temporary. The traits that filled the belt will remain. Yet for a moment the child experiences the absence of the thing he values most. The moment is comic because the values are so clearly stated. It is also slightly touching because the pain is real to him. Max Baer Jr. is not present, yet the earlier scenes with Jethro have already prepared the audience to understand different kinds of attachment. Jethro attaches to schemes and to family approval. The boy attaches to capital. Jed attaches to fairness and to peace inside the household. the variety of attachments is what keeps the world of the show alive. Drysdale's fury is real, yet it is also contained by his larger self-interest. He cannot afford to lose the Clampett deposits. The practical calculation sits beside the personal frustration. The two motives together produce the decisive action of reclaiming the objects and disciplining the child. I have always found that mixture believable. People rarely act from a single pure impulse. The series allowed its characters the same complexity. The banker is neither monster nor saint. He is a man trying to protect his bank and his image of himself as a shrewd yet responsible figure. When the scene ends, the antiques are safe, and the money belt is in Drysdale's possession and the truck is still in the pond. The immediate crisis has been resolved. The deeper patterns remain. The Clampetts will continue to misunderstand the value systems around them. The boy will continue to practice the skills he believes the world rewards. Drysdale will continue to balance affection and calculation. The stability of those patterns is part of the comfort I take from the series. The characters do not reinvent themselves every week. They reveal new sides of the same essential natures. The reckoning at the bank is one more revelation. The performance of the young actor who played Milby deserves quiet credit. The confidence in the selling speech and the genuine distress at the loss of the money belt require precise control. The character could have become a simple caricature. Instead, he feels like a complete small person with consistent motives. That completeness allows the audience to laugh without dismissing him. I still appreciate the choice. Buddy Ebsen's final comments in the bank return the focus to the family ethic. The willingness to have given the objects away if asked is the opposite of the boy's approach. It is also the opposite of ordinary market behavior. The series places that willingness at the center without apology. In a decade increasingly devoted to consumption and status, the Clampetts continue to operate by an older code. The code produces both the comedy and the quiet admiration I have felt since childhood. Objects can leave and return. The code remains. The return of the loot closes the immediate circle of the antique sales. What began as a tour of the mansion and a series of eager transactions ends as a recovery and a private punishment. The circle is neat, yet it leaves traces. Jethro's confidence in his business genius has been undercut. The boy's confidence in his methods has been interrupted. Drysdale's confidence in his ability to manage the child has been tested. Each character absorbs the event according to his nature. The absorption is what the series trusts the audience to notice. No one spells out the lessons. The lessons simply settle into the ongoing life of the household. I leave the sequence with the same warmth that has accompanied every previous viewing. The reckoning is sharp, yet it is never cruel. The fury is real, yet it is limited by larger loyalties. The money belt is taken, yet the child is not rejected. The antiques are restored, yet the family's readiness to give is reaffirmed. All of those balances remain in place. They are the reason the scene continues to feel complete and humane long after the specific jokes have done their work. I can still hear the bright morning greeting that opens this stretch of the story. Granny steps outside and declares that it is a beautiful day to be alive. She notices a board lying at the foot of the steps and decides it will make a dandy shelf for the root cellar. She picks it up with the practical satisfaction of someone who never lets useful material go to waste. The good Lord provides for the pure in heart, she says. The moment is small and ordinary and completely true to her character. Then, Mrs. Drysdale appears and the temperature of the day changes at once. Mrs. Drysdale accuses her of being the thief who has been stealing lumber. Granny is startled and then indignant. She explains that she found the board right there on her own property. Mrs. Drysdale calls her both a thief and a liar. Granny answers that those are not nice things to call a next-door neighbor, especially on such a pretty day. Mrs. Drysdale replies that it has not been a pretty day since Granny became her neighbor. The exchange is swift and sharp. I remember feeling the sudden shift from domestic calm to open conflict and recognizing that the series had just lit a fuse that would burn for some time. Granny responds with a long roll of scripture and proverb. She says she has been reviled and persecuted, yet she forgives 70 times 7. She offers the board with a glad heart because a soft answer turneth away wrath and pride goeth before a fall. She continues through several more verses while Mrs. Drysdale grows more furious. Finally, the banker wife demands the lumber and seizes it. The comic force of the scene lives in the contrast between Granny's elevated language and the very earthly struggle over a few planks of redwood. Irene Ryan delivers the biblical cascade with absolute sincerity. The sincerity makes the humor richer. She is not performing piety. She is simply reaching for the strongest language she knows. The redwood itself carries quiet significance. Mrs. Drysdale later reveals that the planks were specially cut to frame her new dahlia beds. She is determined to win first prize that year. The lumber is not random scrap. It is part of a social ambition. Granny saw only a useful board. The difference in vision is the same difference that appeared with the Ming vase and the Gainsborough. One woman measures objects by utility and immediate need. The other measures them by status and planned display. The series never declares one measurement superior, it simply lets the two systems collide and records the sparks. I have always felt a private sympathy for both women in this moment. Granny is defending her right to gather what appears available on her side of the property line. Mrs. Drysdale is defending materials she purchased for a specific and cherished project. Neither is acting from pure malice, both are protecting what they value. The comedy arises because the values cannot be reconciled in the space of a single conversation. The neighbor relationship that might have remained politely distant becomes openly hostile in a few dozen lines. Later in the kitchen, the mood lightens for a moment with the sponge cake. Granny has baked a special cake for Jed and set out a glass of milk for dunking. Jed finds the cake remarkably light. Granny explains that she put 4 sponges in it. The joke is simple and physical and completely in character. Jed eats it and later reports that the cake was light going down yet grew heavier as he drank the milk. He suspects threads from the flour sack also found their way into the batter. The domestic interlude is brief, yet it reminds the audience that ordinary life continues even while larger conflicts gather force. I have always cherished these small kitchen moments. They keep the family feeling like a real household rather than a collection of comic devices. The conflict reignites when Granny is knocked into the cement pond. She comes home wet and furious. She demands a blanket and then her shotgun. The target is the big fat daughter of Beelzebub next door. Jed tries to restrain her. He reminds her of the promise to abide in peace with Sister Drysdale. Granny will have none of it. She declares that they are feuding with the Drysdales right down to the last man. The language of the mountain feud enters the Beverly Hills landscape with complete seriousness. Irene Ryan plays the declaration with the same conviction she brought to the earlier scripture. The conviction is what makes the escalation both funny and slightly alarming. Jed continues to seek peace. He tells Mrs. Drysdale that the whole thing is a tempest in a teapot and that a few pieces of lumber are not worth the trouble. Mrs. Drysdale answers that the lumber was specially cut redwood for her dahlia beds. She has engaged an expert at $100 a day to help her win the prize. The sum is enormous by the standards of the household yet ordinary by the standards of her social ambitions. The contrast is left to speak for itself. I still feel the quiet satire in that detail. The series rarely lectures about excess. It simply places the excess beside the Clampett economy and lets the viewer notice the distance. The early stages of the feud are marked by a mixture of high language and low tactics. Granny reaches for scripture and then for her shotgun. Mrs. Drysdale reaches for social superiority and then for accusations of theft. Both women are defending territory. The territory is partly physical and partly emotional. Granny will not be called a thief. Mrs. Drysdale will not see her garden plans disrupted. The stubbornness on both sides is equal and therefore perfectly matched for comedy. I have watched this ignition point many times and each time I am struck by how fairly the writers distribute the responsibility. Neither woman is purely in the right, neither is purely in the wrong. The feud grows out of mutual misunderstanding and mutual pride. The rheumatism of the title is more than a casual word. Granny lives with the ordinary aches of age and mountain life. Mrs. Drysdale lives with the social aches of status and competition. Both conditions produce irritability. Both conditions make the redwood planks seem more important than they might otherwise have been. The series understands that small grievances can become large when they attach to deeper discomforts. That understanding keeps the conflict from feeling arbitrary. It grows out of character rather than out of plot necessity alone. Buddy Ebsen as Jed stands between the two women with the patience that defines him. He does not take sides with any enthusiasm. He wants the noise to stop and the household to return to calm. His attempts at peacemaking are practical and slightly weary. He has seen mountain feuds before and he knows how quickly they can expand. The knowledge gives his warnings a quiet weight. I have always trusted Jed in these moments. His reluctance to fight is not weakness. It is the hard-earned preference for peace that comes from having known the alternative. The physical comedy of the pond incident remains vivid in my memory. Granny is pushed or falls and emerges wet and outraged. The cement pond that once served as a symbol of unexpected luxury has now become a weapon in a neighbor dispute. The transformation is complete and temporary. Soon the pond will be needed for other disasters. For this moment it is simply the place where dignity was lost and temper was found. Irene Ryan uses the wet entrance to reset her posture and her voice. The shift from soaked victim to armed combatant is swift and total. The audience is given no time to pity her. She does not want pity, she wants justice as she understands it. Mrs. Drysdale's presence on the other side of the property line adds the necessary counterweight. She is not a cartoon of snobbery. She is a woman with a project and a reputation to protect. The dahlia beds matter to her the way the soap mattered to Granny, and the car wash mattered to Jethro. The series allows each character a genuine attachment to their own goals. The attachments collide, and the collision produces the story. That method still feels respectful to me. No one is reduced to a pure obstacle for someone else. As the feud ignites, the larger household begins to react. Ellie Mae and Jethro are ready to join the fight. Jed must restrain them as well. The mountain tradition of family solidarity in conflict is alive and well inside the mansion. The tradition is comic in Beverly Hills, yet it is never treated as ridiculous. It is simply another fact of Clampett life. I have always appreciated that refusal to mock the tradition. The series laughs with the family more than at them. The distinction matters. The redwood planks remain the visible cause. The deeper causes are pride and difference of measurement and the ordinary friction of two strong wills sharing a property line. The rheumatism is the quiet reminder that both women carry private discomforts that make them quicker to anger. All of those elements are present in the opening movements of the conflict. They will expand in the scenes that follow, yet they are already fully formed here. The ignition is clean and irreversible. I carry away from this sequence a renewed sense of how carefully the series balanced its conflicts. The feud is serious to the people inside it. It is funny to the people watching. Both levels operate at once without cancelling each other. Granny is genuinely offended. Mrs. Drysdale is genuinely aggrieved. Jed is genuinely tired of the noise. The audience is genuinely entertained. The ability to hold all of those truths together is the quiet craft that has kept these episodes alive in my memory across so many years. The morning that began with a beautiful day and a useful board has ended with a declared feud and a demand for the shotgun. The distance traveled is short in time and long in consequence. I still follow every step of that distance with the same attention I gave it as a child. The attention is rewarded by the clarity of the characters and the fairness of the writing and the unbroken affection that runs beneath the quarrel. The redwood and the rheumatism have done their work. The feud is lit and the story is fully in motion. I still feel the rising tension when Granny decides that words are no longer enough. She has been pushed into the pond and insulted and robbed of her lumber in her own view of events. Now she loads the shotgun with rock salt and bacon rind and prepares to answer in the language of the mountains. She warns that this will not be a sneak attack. She counts to 3 out loud and then fires. The first shot is for the prince. The second is for the shovel. The gun is empty after that. She returns to the house dry this time and in better spirits. The small improvement in her condition still makes me smile. Irene Ryan plays the entire sequence with the fierce energy of someone who has finally taken action. The energy is comic, yet it is also completely serious inside the character. Jed meets her with the weary patience that has become familiar. He asks how the feud is progressing. Granny reports that Mrs. Drysdale has hired a killer. The killer is a giant, a Goliath who stands 9 or 10 feet tall and has the strength of 40 mules. He grabbed her shotgun and bent it double. The description grows with each telling. Later the giant will shrink to 8 feet, and then to a good 6 feet and strong as an ox. The shrinking is pure mountain storytelling and pure Granny. I have always loved how the series allows her the pleasure of exaggeration while still keeping the core of the grievance intact. She was bested by a larger, stronger figure and she needs the family to understand the scale of the opposition. The giant is of course the garden expert Mr. Ted. He has been hired at $100 a day to prepare the dahlia beds. He is digging in the earth with professional concentration. Granny sees the 4 holes and concludes that they are graves. The conclusion is logical inside her current state of mind. A feud has been declared, a giant has appeared. Holes are being dug, the next step in the old pattern would be burial. She rushes to the family and announces the horror. Ellie Mae and Jethro are ready to fight. Jed tries to slow the rush of conclusions. The gap between what Granny sees and what is actually happening is the engine of the comedy in this stretch. I still enjoy how carefully the writers keep both realities visible at once. When Granny confronts the digger, she offers herself in place of the others. She begs him not to plant the sweet little innocent Ellie Mae or Jethro or even Jed. She alone is to blame. She asks only that she be planted a mite deeper so the chickens will not scratch her up. The speech is delivered with the full force of sacrificial drama. Irene Ryan commits to every word. The commitment makes the later revelation funnier and also oddly touching. She is prepared to die for the family in a cause that does not exist. The preparedness is consistent with everything we know about her. The cause is the product of pure misunderstanding. The combination is the series at its best. Mr. Ted and Mrs. Drysdale explain that the holes are flower beds. The markers already prepared carry the names Jed, Jethro, Ellie, and Granny. Mrs. Drysdale has been persuaded that naming the new varieties after the Clampett family will end the feud. The gesture is practical and slightly desperate. She wants her garden. She wants peace. She is willing to attach the names of her troublesome neighbors to her prize flowers in order to obtain both. The solution is elegant in its simplicity. It costs her nothing but a small measure of pride and it gives Granny the honor she did not know she was seeking. I have always found the resolution quietly satisfying. The series rarely ends a conflict with force. It prefers a sideways movement that allows both sides to stand down without formal surrender. Granny accepts the explanation with a mixture of relief and lingering drama. She has been crossing over Jordan with a song on her lips. Now she learns she is not required to cross. The graves are only beds. The giant is only a gardener. The feud can end in flowers rather than in further rock salt. She invites the peace-loving dahlia diggers in and returns to the hymn that has run through the entire conflict. Joy, 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 joy down in my heart. The song that was once a weapon of aggressive forgiveness becomes a genuine expression of restored calm. The transformation of the hymn mirrors the transformation of the conflict itself. The physical comedy of the bent shotgun and the counted shots remains vivid. Granny fires with purpose and then must accept that her weapon has been overpowered. The acceptance is temporary. She will be ready to fight again if needed. Yet for this moment the superior strength of the giant has checked her. The check allows the quieter solution to appear. I appreciate how the series uses physical defeat to open the door to negotiation. The rock salt has been spent. The gun has been bent. Words and flowers can now take their place. Buddy Ebsen watches the escalation and the resolution with the same steady presence. He never fully enters the feud, yet he never abandons Granny to it. He supplies the voice of restraint and then the voice of acceptance when the Dahlia solution appears. His performance continues to feel like the moral center of the household. When the family is tempted to open war, he reminds them of the cost. When the war can be ended with a gesture, he accepts the gesture without needing to claim victory. That balance has always seemed to me the quiet strength of the character. The dahlia beds themselves become a shared space of meaning. For Mrs. Drysdale, they are a project of social display and horticultural pride. For Granny, they become the place where she was almost buried and then honored. The same soil carries both meanings. The series allows the double meaning to stand. No one insists on a single interpretation. The flowers will grow, the names will be attached. The feud will fade into family legend. The outcome feels earned because both women have spent real emotion in reaching it. I think often about the way the giant shrinks across Granny's retellings. The reduction from 10 feet to 6 feet is pure comic technique, yet it also feels true to the way stories of conflict are shaped after the danger has passed. The opponent grows in the moment of confrontation and then settles into a more manageable size once safety returns. Irene Ryan manages the shrinking with perfect naturalness. Each new estimate is delivered as the corrected truth. The audience is invited to enjoy the adjustment without ever losing sympathy for the speaker. The path to peace is lined with the same hymn that accompanied the path to war. The repetition of the Joy Joy chorus becomes a kind of ritual. It marks the stages of Granny's emotional journey. At first, the song is a tool for unsettling Mrs. Drysdale. Later, it is a declaration of willingness to die. Finally, it is a genuine expression of relief. The same words carry different weight at each stage. That flexibility is part of what makes the character so alive. She does not need new language for new feelings. She pours the new feelings into the language she already owns. The resolution through naming is a classic Clampetts solution. Honor is given. Face is saved. The practical project of the garden continues. No one is required to apologize in formal terms. The apology is replaced by a shared interest in the flowers. I have always preferred this kind of ending. It feels truer to the way real households make peace. The large declarations fade. The small cooperative acts remain. The dahlias will bloom with Clampett names, and the memory of the rock salt will soften into a story told for laughter rather than for further anger. As the sequence closes, the household returns to a fragile calm. The shotgun is no longer needed. The giant is only Mr. Ted. The graves are only beds. Granny has been honored rather than buried. The feud that began with a single board of redwood has ended with 4 named varieties of flowers. The distance between those 2 points is filled with misunderstanding and exaggeration and genuine feeling. I still travel the distance with the same attention I gave it years ago. The attention is repaid by the clarity of the performances and the fairness of the writing and the unbroken thread of affection that runs under every shot of rock salt and every verse of the hymn. The escalation has reached its peak and then released. The path to peace has been found in the most unlikely soil. I leave the sequence with the quiet satisfaction that belongs to stories in which strong wills find a way to stand down without breaking. The rock salt has been fired. The dahlias have been named. The heart of the family remains intact. I can still see Jethro coming into the room dressed in the full glory of his new identity. He has been to the studio and returned with clothes that once belonged to the idea of Queen Elizabeth and to Francis Drake. The velvet and the hat and the entire arrangement sit on his large frame with complete seriousness. He announces that Mr. Drysdale has called and that Uncle Jed has inherited a castle in England. The castle is one of those great big rascals with a moat and a drawbridge. The news is delivered with the shining certainty that has always defined his largest ideas. I remember the first time I watched the moment and felt the familiar mixture of delight and gentle worry. Another grand project has begun, and the family is about to be swept along. Jethro has already assigned himself a place in the new order. He is Sir Jethro, head butler to His Majesty the Earl of Clampett. He corrects anyone who still uses the old names. Jed is no longer Jed, he is royalty. Ordinary people are commoners and oaths. They must bow and scrape and grovel. Jethro himself as royal nephew stands just below the Earl, and just above everyone else. The hierarchy is assembled in a few enthusiastic sentences. Max Baer Jr. plays the elevation with his whole body. The posture changes. The voice takes on a new rhythm. The young man who only days earlier was dunking cars in the cement pond is now prepared to manage a peerage. The transformation is instantaneous and total, and therefore perfect for the series. Granny is informed that she is not bloodkin in the same way. She is a vassal. She must walk 3 paces behind and do the bidding of her betters. She accepts the information with the wary calm of someone who has heard many strange decrees in her time. Ellie Mae is declared a royal cousin. The assignments are handed out with the same confidence Jethro once gave to the 5-second car wash. I have always loved the speed of the reorganization. No committee is required. No consultation is needed. One excited young man receives a piece of news and at once constructs an entire social system around it. The system is borrowed from books and from studio costumes, yet it feels complete inside his mind. Mr. Drysdale arrives in a state of high excitement. He can already see the presentation at court and the seat in the House of Lords and luncheon with the Prime Minister and tea with the Queen. He makes clear that the honors will be handled by him. The Clampetts will stay at the castle. He will be in London receiving the honors and banking the money. The money will come from the tenants who live on the 10,000 acres surrounding the castle. The vision is vast and precise, and entirely financial. Raymond Bailey plays the banker with the gleaming focus that always appears when large sums enter the conversation. The contrast with Jethro's romantic peerage is sharp and comic. One man sees titles and processions. The other sees deposits and interest. Jed listens to both visions with the quiet reserve that has become his signature. He is not opposed to the inheritance, he is simply unconvinced that the life of an English earl matches the life he knows. The family is plain. They are country people. The ways of royalty are not their ways. The caution is delivered without drama. Buddy Ebsen makes the reluctance feel like common sense rather than fear. I have always trusted that common sense, it has steered the family through every previous storm of sudden fortune. The royal raiment itself becomes a character in the scene. Jethro has chosen clothes that belong to a much earlier century. He has looked up Queen Elizabeth in a book and accepted the illustrations as current requirement. The historical gap is never noticed inside his enthusiasm. The series allows the gap to stand as pure comedy. No one corrects the timeline with any success. The costumes are treated as proper uniform for the new life. The sight of Jethro in velvet bloomers and a hat that once suggested a different gender still produces the same laughter it produced years ago. The laughter is affectionate. The young man is not ridiculous because he is trying to be grand. He is grand inside the only terms he has been able to find. Miss Hathaway enters the excitement with her own mixture of alarm and secret longing. She sees the dangers of transplanting the family into a world of rigid protocol. She also hears the title Lady Jane Hathaway spoken aloud and cannot entirely reject the sound. The small personal temptation is noted and then set aside. The series rarely lets a character remain untouched by the dream of elevation. Even the most practical people feel the brief pull of the title and the castle, and the sudden importance. The pull is human and therefore comic. I think often about the speed with which Jethro constructs the new household order. In the mountains, roles were clear and earned over time. In the sudden peerage, roles are assigned by the person who heard the news first. The assignment is accepted or resisted according to each character temperament. Ellie Mae tries on the idea of royal cousin with mild curiosity. Granny tests the word vassal and finds it unfamiliar. Jed remains Jed, even while the others practice new forms of address. The variation in response keeps the scene alive. No one reacts in exactly the same way. The individuality of the family survives even inside the new hierarchy. The 10,000 acres and the tenants become the practical heart of Drysdale's interest. He is already calculating the banking possibilities. The castle is less important as architecture than as a source of ongoing revenue. The calculation is consistent with everything we know about the man. He has managed the Clampett millions with the same focus. Now he sees an English extension of the same task. The series places his focus beside Jethro's pageantry and lets the two dreams share the stage. Neither dream is dismissed, both are allowed to reveal the character of the dreamer. The physical comedy of the costumes continues to work through every movement. Jethro turns and the velvet follows. He bows and the hat threatens to escape. He instructs others in the proper way to approach the Earl, and demonstrates the required depth of the bow. Max Baer Jr. never steps outside the character to signal that the performance is funny. He remains completely inside the new identity. That commitment is what makes the comedy generous. The audience is invited to enjoy the spectacle without being asked to feel superior to the young man who created it. As the news settles over the household, the larger question appears. Will the family actually go? Jed is unsure. Granny is suspicious of any arrangement that requires her to walk behind someone else. Ellie Mae is willing to see new places yet not yet attached to the idea of rank. Jethro is already packed in his mind. Drysdale is ready to book passage. The division of enthusiasm is the quiet engine that will drive the next movements of the story. I still feel the pleasure of watching that division take shape. The series understood that a single piece of news can land differently in every member of a family and that the differences are themselves the story. The inheritance arrives without warning and without legal detail. No solicitor has yet appeared, no documents have been read. The entire structure rests on a telephone call and on Jethro's immediate interpretation. The fragility of the foundation is part of the comedy. Yet the fragility is never underlined. The characters treat the news as solid and proceed to build their various futures upon it. The audience is trusted to notice the thinness of the ice and to enjoy the confidence with which everyone skates. I carry from this sequence a renewed appreciation for the way the series handles sudden elevation. The Clampetts have already moved from cabin to mansion. Now they are invited to move from mansion to castle. Each elevation tests the same question. Can the family remain itself inside a larger and stranger frame? The answer has always been yes, yet the yes is never easy. Costumes must be tried on. New words must be practiced. Old habits must be defended. The work of remaining oneself is continuous. Jethro's instant peerage is only the latest version of the work. The scene ends with the household in motion toward an uncertain voyage. The royal raiment has been displayed. The titles have been claimed. The financial possibilities have been calculated. The plain voices of caution have been heard. All the necessary elements are in place. The inheritance has been announced and the family has begun to respond according to each true nature. I leave the moment with the same warmth I felt at the beginning. The large young man in the borrowed velvet is still shining with possibility. The uncle is still steady. The grandmother is still watchful. The banker is still counting. The story has opened a new door and the family is already walking through it in their own unmistakable ways. I return to the moment when the new hierarchy hardens inside the mansion and I still feel the same mixture of amusement and quiet sympathy. Jethro has decided that the inheritance requires a complete reorganization of the household. He stands in his borrowed velvet and announces the order of rank. Uncle Jed is the Earl. Jethro himself is the royal nephew and head butler. Ellie Mae is a royal cousin. Granny is something lower. She is a vassal. She is an oaf. She must bow and scrape and walk 3 paces behind the bloodkin. The assignments are delivered with the absolute confidence that has always marked his largest ideas. Max Bear Jr. makes the confidence physical. His shoulders stay square. His voice takes on a new authority. He is not playing at rank, he is inhabiting it. Granny listens to the decree and tests the words. Vassal is unfamiliar, oaf is worse. She has spent a lifetime as a full member of the family and now she is being asked to accept a lower place because the bloodlines have been measured in a new way. Her resistance is quiet at first and then firm. She did not ask for a title and she does not intend to surrender the place she already holds. Irene Ryan plays the resistance with the same steady fire she once brought to the Redwood feud. She does not shout at once. She simply refuses to move 3 paces back. The refusal is comic and also completely serious inside the character. I have always admired that seriousness. The series never asks her to collapse for the sake of the joke. The costume chaos continues around the arguments. Jethro has outfitted himself as a figure from an older century. He has found clothes for others and expects them to be worn. Ellie Mae tries on the idea of royal cousin with mild curiosity and a certain willingness to play along. Jed remains in his ordinary clothes and in his ordinary manner. The contrast between the dressed and the undressed members of the family becomes its own quiet comedy. One part of the household has already moved into the imagined castle. the other part is still standing in Beverly Hills trying to understand the rules. Jethro explains the consequences of resistance. If Granny will not accept her place, the Queen will throw her into the Tower of London and feed her to the beefeaters. The threat is delivered with the same earnestness he once gave to the 5-second car wash. The Tower and the beefeaters are real to him because he has seen them in books. The fact that the books describe a different century does not trouble him. The series allows the historical confusion to stand without correction. The audience is trusted to enjoy the gap. I still enjoy it. The gap reveals how completely Jethro commits to whatever system he has decided to inhabit. Miss Hathaway attempts a gentle lecture on modern England. She tells the family that there is no serfdom. Granny is not an oaf. Even members of the peerage no longer have the power to rule the lives of others. The costumes are only for pageantry. There is no debtor's prison and no torture for those who overdraw at the bank. Jethro hears the lecture as treason. He accuses her of trying to gain the crown by undermining the proper order. The accusation is extreme and therefore perfect. Max Baer Jr. does not soften it. He delivers the charge with full conviction. The conviction keeps the scene from becoming merely silly. A young man who has just discovered rank is prepared to defend it against any voice of reason. The argument about bloodkin surfaces again. Jethro points out that Granny is only related by marriage. She is not blood in the same way that he and Ellie Mae are. The distinction is new and painful. In the mountains, the family was the people who lived and worked together. The sudden introduction of blood measurement feels foreign and unwelcome. Granny absorbs the distinction and then sets it aside. She will not walk behind anyone. She will not grovel. The refusal is absolute. I have always felt a private cheer at that refusal. The character remains true to the equality she has always practiced inside the household. Jed watches the entire reorganization with the patience that defines him. He does not accept the new titles for himself. He does not order anyone else to accept them. He simply waits for the excitement to find its natural limit. Buddy Ebsen makes the waiting feel like wisdom rather than passivity. He has seen Jethro seize on many sudden identities. The peerage is only the latest. The quiet confidence that the family will return to itself is never stated, yet it is always present in his posture and his voice. That confidence has always reassured me as a viewer. Drysdale and Miss Hathaway discuss the larger risks in a separate exchange. Drysdale sees only the financial opportunity. Miss Hathaway sees the simple hillfolk cast adrift in a world of rigid protocol. She worries that they will not know what to do or say or whom to turn to. The worry is genuine. The series allows her the moment of genuine concern before the comic complications resume. I still appreciate that moment. It reminds the audience that the move to England is not only a source of jokes, it is also a real displacement of people who have already been displaced once. The hierarchy continues to produce small collisions. Jethro attempts to demonstrate the proper way to approach the Earl. He instructs Granny in the depth of the required bow. She declines the lesson. He tries to promote her in advance of the journey. Once they are settled, he will make her a scullion or a servant of some other low order. The promotions are offered as kindness. They are received as further evidence that the entire system is unacceptable. The gap between the offered kindness and the received insult is pure Clampett comedy. Both sides are sincere. The sincerity is what keeps the conflict alive. Costume chaos spreads as more garments are tried on and discarded. Jethro wants the entire family to appear in proper raiment when they reach the castle. Jed insists that as long as they remain in this country, they will dress as Americans. The practical compromise is temporary. The deeper disagreement about identity remains. Are they still the family from the mountains, or have they become something else because a castle has appeared in their name? The question is never debated in open philosophical terms. It is debated through clothing and through forms of address and through the refusal to walk 3 paces behind. I have always preferred that method. The series trusts actions and objects to carry the meaning. Granny resistance becomes the moral center of the sequence. She has been many things in the life of the family. She has been the doctor and the cook and the keeper of traditions and the fierce defender of dignity. She has never been an oaf. The title does not fit and she will not wear it. Irene Ryan makes the refusal feel like the natural continuation of every previous stand she has taken. The same woman who would not surrender her soap or her redwood will not surrender her place in the family. The consistency is the source of both the comedy and the quiet admiration I continue to feel. As the arguments circle and return, the household remains intact. No one leaves. No one is banished to the tower, the threats remain verbal, the costumes remain temporary, the hierarchy remains a project rather than a settled fact. Jethro continues to believe in it. Granny continues to reject it. Jed continues to wait. Ellie Mae continues to observe with open curiosity. The balance of forces is stable even while the voices rise. That stability is part of what makes the long middle of the inheritance story so comfortable to revisit. The family can absorb a great deal of nonsense without breaking. I think often about the Tower of London as it exists in Jethro's mind. It is a place of punishment for those who refuse proper order. It is also a place he has never seen and does not truly understand. The distance between the imagined tower and the real family living room is the distance the comedy travels. The series never needs to take the characters to the actual tower in order to make the threat effective. The threat works because Jethro believes it, and because Granny refuses to be moved by it. The belief and the refusal are enough. The sequence ends with the hierarchy still in dispute and the costumes still in partial use and the journey still only a possibility. Nothing has been permanently settled, everything remains in motion. I leave the scene with the same warmth that has accompanied every previous viewing. The large young man in the velvet is still certain that rank will solve every problem. The small grandmother is still certain that dignity does not require a title. The uncle is still certain that the family will find its way. Those certainties collide and then continue side by side. The collision is the comedy. The continuation is the reason I keep returning. I still remember the first time the family walked into the passport office and the air seemed to change. The room was ordinary and official and filled with the quiet weight of government procedure. Jethro stepped forward at once and announced that he would go first because he was the one with the education. That way the officers could see how the matter should be handled. The claim was delivered with the same shining certainty he had once given to the 5-second car wash and to the instant peerage. Max Baer Jr. made the certainty look completely natural. He raised his right hand when told to do so and prepared to swear that every word would be the truth. When asked for his name he answered Jethro. When asked for the surname he answered Sir Jethro. The officer repeated the title with careful politeness. Jethro confirmed it and expanded the description. He was Sir Jethro de Boudin, head valet to the royal family. The royal family was the family of the Earl of Clampetts. His royal cousin was the girl with the yellow hair. The little one with the big mouth had once been an oaf, but he had already knighted her. His Majesty had decided they should not wear the royal raiment until they reached the castle. The speech unfolded in a steady stream of confident detail. I can still feel the pleasure of watching the official face try to remain neutral while the story grew larger with every sentence. Jethro described the castle itself. It was one of those great big rascals with a wall around it and towers and dungeons and bars on the windows. A castle was not a proper castle unless it was crawling with attendants of every kind. He listed varlets and trolls and keepers as necessary equipment. The officer asked if the entire account was a rib. Jethro looked puzzled and answered that the question itself was a nose. The exchange still makes me smile. The young man was not trying to be funny. He was simply answering from inside the world he had constructed. The officer began to believe he was dealing with a hidden camera prank. He looked around for the equipment and asked if he needed makeup. The moment when official procedure collides with complete sincerity has always been one of my favorite kinds of comedy in the series. The brain surgeon claim arrived next. Jethro stated that he had studied to be a brain surgeon. He asked Uncle Jed to confirm it. Jed answered that the boy had pretty near become a brain surgeon. He had been torn between that profession and the life of a fry cook. The officer accepted the information with the careful tone of a man who now believed he was on television. He played along and promised to issue the passports. He even called himself the Royal Passport Officer for a moment. The willingness of the official to enter the fantasy rather than fight it produced a gentle kindness that I still appreciate. Bureaucracy in the series is rarely cruel, it is simply bewildered. Jed had insisted that the family dress as ordinary Americans for the visit to a government office. The royal costumes were left behind. The decision was practical and also a quiet assertion of identity. As long as they remained in the country, they would present themselves as citizens rather than as imagined nobility. The choice kept the scene grounded even while Jethro continued to speak from inside his peerage. Buddy Ebsen made the practical instruction feel like the natural voice of common sense. He did not mock the costumes. He simply set them aside for the occasion. I think often about the way the series handles encounters with official systems. The Clampetts bring their own complete understanding of the world into rooms that operate by different rules. The result is never open rebellion. It is patient explanation from one side and growing confusion from the other. Jethro explains the castle and the titles and the necessary staff with the same care he once gave to the ropes and chains of the car wash. The officer listens and then searches for the hidden camera because the alternative is to accept that the story is real. The search is comic, yet it is also understandable. I have always felt a small sympathy for the officials who must process the family. They are given no preparation for the experience. The education that Jethro claims becomes a quiet joke of its own. He finished the 6th grade and treated that achievement as sufficient foundation for any professional identity. Brain surgeon and fry cook sat side by side in his mind as equal possibilities. The series never punishes him for the claim. It simply lets the claim exist and then moves on. The kindness of that choice still matters to me. The young man is allowed to think well of his own preparation. The audience is allowed to enjoy the distance between the claim and any realistic measure of training. Both sides of the experience remain available at once. Ellie Mae and Granny stand nearby and watch the process with different degrees of patience. Ellie Mae is ready to accept whatever form of address the moment requires. Granny remains alert for any new attempt to reduce her standing. The passport office does not revive the oath conversation, yet the earlier resistance still colors her posture. Irene Ryan keeps the character consistent even in silence. She has not surrendered any ground and she does not intend to surrender any here. The officer continues to play along until the family makes clear that they do need the actual documents. The transition from imagined broadcast back to ordinary procedure is handled gently, no one is embarrassed at length. The passports are processed. The family moves forward. The brief detour into hidden camera territory remains as a bright comic mark on the journey rather than as a source of lasting confusion. I have always liked the efficiency of the recovery. The series knows when to let a joke run and when to return the characters to the road. The larger journey toward England is still only a plan, yet the passport office makes the plan feel more real. Documents are required, names must be recorded, official stamps must be obtained. The imagined peerage must pass through the ordinary machinery of government before it can take any further shape. The contrast between the grand titles and the plain bureaucratic steps is the quiet engine of the scene. Jethro continues to speak as Sir Jethro. The forms continue to ask for ordinary information. Both realities occupy the same small room for a few minutes and then the family leaves with the necessary papers. I carry from this sequence a renewed fondness for the way the series treats authority. Authority is not mocked for its own sake. It is simply placed beside the complete sincerity of the Clampetts and allowed to reveal its own limits. The officer is not a fool. He is a man trying to do his job while a large young man in plain clothes describes a castle full of trolls. The job becomes difficult and then briefly entertaining and then possible again. The movement feels humane, no one is destroyed by the encounter. Both sides continue on their way. The brain surgeon and fry cook combination continues to amuse me after many viewings. The two professions sit together in Jethro's mind without conflict. One requires long training and precise skill. The other requires speed and heat, and the ability to satisfy hunger. Jethro sees no reason why a person might not be drawn to both. The absence of conflict inside his thinking is the source of the comedy. Max Baer Jr. never signals that the combination is strange. He presents it as simple autobiography. The presentation invites the audience to laugh and also to recognize the free-ranging hope that still lives in the character. As the family leaves the office, the next stages of the journey wait. The tickets will be purchased. The plane will be boarded. The mix-up in San Francisco will arrive in its turn, yet the passport office remains a complete small chapter of its own. It is the place where the imagined titles met the actual machinery of the state, and where both sides survived the meeting. I still enjoy the survival. It reminds me that the series preferred confusion to cruelty and recovery to punishment. The Clampetts walked into the office as a family with a strange story and walked out as a family with the necessary documents. The story continued. The documents made the continuation possible. The hidden camera idea lingers as a final comic echo. For a few moments the officer believed he was part of a larger entertainment. In a way he was correct. He had become part of the ongoing entertainment that the Clampetts carry with them wherever they go. The difference is that the entertainment was not planned by any producer. It was simply the natural result of the family being itself inside an official space. That natural quality is what I continue to value. The comedy does not feel constructed for the occasion. It feels inevitable once the characters are in the room. I leave the sequence with the same warmth that has marked every previous return to these episodes. The large young man has claimed his titles and his professional history. The officer has searched for cameras and then returned to his forms. The uncle has kept the family dressed as citizens. The grandmother has watched without surrendering any ground. The papers have been issued. The journey can proceed. All of those facts exist together in a single ordinary office on an ordinary day. The ordinary day is made memorable by the complete sincerity of everyone involved. That sincerity remains the lasting gift of the scene.